life. You know what I'm saying? Right now, I'm pretty much content with just rhyming all day.
Or digital can instantly share pictures.
I can start. Hello. I am sorry, but I must interrupt this show. Later, you know what it is. Hey, ham solo. It's time, baby. Low. Let's turn how we do. Hey. They said we said we in. They said we said we on. They said we said we strong. They said we said we go. We say that you heard right. 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 They said we said we in. They said we said we on. They said we said strong. They said we said go. We say that you heard right. We say that you heard right. We say that you heard right. We say that you man, I swear that it's imminent. I've been going so hard on my penmanship. About to go in and buy me a wheel. And I pull that shit fresh off the dealership. I can leave you on red like an Xbox. Got me laughing at you like you Red Fox. Got you chasing Hot Wheels like a matchbox. EA running the game and it don't stop. Super cold like I'm playing for Blitz. Cause you all in my sights like Red Dead Redemption. Never gonna slip on my pimpin'. Better get out my way, bitch, I'm on a mission. Really ain't no competition. I'm steady grilling opposition. I'm get up and ready to win. They can play it how they play, but fuck what you say. I'm getting this money today. Last of us like a dying breed. Down the ride like a noble steed. Fatality moves, I make it bleed. That's on any game, that's on any screen. Shut up and give me your money. They said we so lit. Even if I take an L, we coming back just to show that we don't quit. They said we in. They said we said we on. They said we said we strong. They said we said go.
Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Lowdown on TSWS Gaming. I'm Luke7, and joining me as always is my co-host, Mr. Ham Solo 05. And we have a special guest today, because usually it's just me and Ham. We have a special guest today. His name, if you watch TSWS, you already know who he is. It's Mr.
My name
Mad
is
Like.
Zorp. Oh, it's
Um,
Zorp,
yeah,
the surveyor.
yeah.
Jeez.
That's the name. Ham, how you doing? What you been playing?
I'm all right, man. What I've been playing. Well, earlier today I was playing Road Rash on stream from the Sega Genesis. It's fantastic. And I was also playing Justice League from the Sega Genesis, which that game is not as fantastic, but it's still fantastic. It's just not
It's
as
okay.
fantastic.
It's all right.
Yeah. It's just all right, right? I mean, it's definitely not like Street Fighter was on there or Mortal Kombat or anything like that, but like it was just like a cool Justice League game, right? Like it had a little story to it, which was kind of neat, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got my ass beat, and yeah, it was great. But
You didn't have to kill Batman, kill Superman, kill.
well, I mean, I had to like taking them out, but like there was no like cutscene of defeating them. It was me versus like Darkseid, and I think like Darkseid like took like essentially yada yada, right? And I'm using one of the superheroes that actually could get the job done to get the job done. I was Superman, so I mean it made more sense.
That makes
made more sense there. But I've also been playing Doom 2016 because of obvious reasons. Recent announcements. I've also been playing a ton of Halo Infinite because of the new season. I've been enjoying the hell out of that. Let's see. Been playing Far Cry 4.
Oh,
Matt, shut the fuck.
Let's fucking go. Tell him about it.
Shut up. I've been playing some Far Cry 4, and it's been pretty good so far. I mean, there was the other night where we could not link up because of whatever server issues. What's cracking, Talos Ray and Ty? Good to see y'all. But yeah, I've been enjoying Far Cry 4. What's weird, and if I may, because I like to over exaggerate my hellos and introductions and whatnot.
Pretty much.
Yeah. If I must with Far Cry 4, I kind of personally think it looks better. than 5 and 6. And it's kind of like weird. Like I feel like it feels better too, right? Like it feels more like grounded and realistic. I don't have no weird daddy, hold this dead Madden switch, daddy. Like there isn't any of that in there compared to the seriousness of like the situation that you're in, where it's like a bunch of people, like a bunch of people, like what seems to be Hindi, like people that are Hindi, right, are like kind of being pillaged and taken advantage of by like whatever government that's kind of like taken over there, right? Like, and yeah, what's that?
It's a lot less serious.
The newer ones are a lot less serious. The old one is a lot more serious. Like just the intro of 4 had me like, yo, I'm bought in. Like the intro in 4 like had me bought into like how serious the situation is, but how insane the guy is that I'm kind of going after, right? And it's kind of more realistic as to where they're using drugs, but I guess they did that as well in 5. But 5, it felt like a constant acid trip. Like 5 felt like a consistent acid trip that, like, I'm not going to spoil the ending for that, but I was devastated. Let's just put it that way.
TSWS does not advocate for the use of acid. Go ahead.
I was devastated at the end of 5. And 6, I was devastated at the end of that for just sheer, I didn't think any of the characters really did super great in 6. I thought the characters did good in 5, but it was like a sheer acid trip and a mushroom trip. It was like a mushroom and acid trip with maybe a little peyote on the side. Like it was insane what was going on in that game. But yeah, 4 feels grounded, and I'm really enjoying what I am playing in that game so far and the way the game feels. Even the driving, as weird as it is, because you use the stick to drive, right? You don't use the triggers or even A to accelerate. You use up on the stick.
That's strange.
And it is strange, but for some reason it feels kind of good. It just sucks when you're trying to go in reverse.
Yeah, very weird. Very weird.
Anyways,
Matt, how you doing? What you been playing?
Man. I'm doing good. I've been playing. God. Still Detroit Become Human. If I had to guess, I'm probably about halfway through that. I'm kind of taking my time with it because I'll tell you what, I did not take my time with Heavy Rain or Beyond Two Souls. I've marathon both of those back to back. So, been playing Detroit. Currently playing Forza Horizon 4. Played Far
Forza.
Cry. Forza Horizon 4. That's what I said. I'm played some Far Cry 4 last night with Ham. And then I also played more Far Cry 4 just on my own. That not to go too deep into Far Cry 4 because Ham was just talking about it, but like that's my favorite Far Cry by a decent amount too. Like I like all Far Cries, but that one is definitely my favorite. Yes, absolutely. Trying to think if there's something else. Oh yeah. Because of the whole Doom the Dark Ages thing at the Dev Direct next week, I did a couple days ago restart Doom 2016. I don't have much of a schedule for that. Like if I'm actually going to beat it, I just restarted it. No, I would like to beat that in Eternal again before the Dark Ages comes out, but I don't know. I still gotta get through Detroit, and then I gotta get into Stalker, and then hopefully by the time I'm done with Stalker the next day, it would be great if Avowed came out. And
It would be great if Avowed came out.
literally,
Yeah. All right. All right. Taylor's Ray says Far Cry 4 was good. It's got the Snow Yeti. Freaked me out. Ham, did you see the Snow Yeti? Or is that a spoiler?
Oh, that's not a spoiler, but no, it's not a spoiler. There's a DLC called like something of the Yetis or whatever. It's not a spoiler.
It's not a spoiler. Ham, have you gotten to the Yetis?
The Yetis? No.
Yeah.
All
Sorry,
right, fellas. I'll
spoilers.
be right back in like 10 minutes.
Right,
I'll try to hurry.
right. So in terms of games, I've been playing a lot. Like even even for the amount that I usually play, I've been playing a lot. So let's go WRC, Starfield, Cyberpunk, Phantom Liberty, Lost Eidolon, Sword Art Online, Football Manager. What else? I think that's it. Yeah, I've been playing those 6 games, and I don't know how I can keep up, but yeah, I used to make fun of people that played lots of games. Like, how do you even remember the button configuration or all the other stuff? But turns out it's very doable. So yeah, I've been playing 6 games at the same time. Wild. Let's get into the news. Actually, you know what? Before we get into the news, because I want to read this once. I don't want to have to re-announce this news after Matt comes back. Do you mind if we wait just a little bit, Ham? Just a little bit.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. All right. Well, side news. Did you see the trailer for Atomfall? The gameplay overview.
I have not, actually. That sounds great. I haven't even thought of looking at that yet.
All right. I have the website up here. Let me put it up on the screen because it's interesting. It's got a different aesthetic to what we're used to, and I think it's gonna be fun. Honestly. Hold on. Let me pull it up very quickly. But you do remember what Atomfall is, right?
Yeah.
You remember which game we're talking about?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's supposedly like an English version of what we kind of seen with, God damn, what was that game last year or the year prior that I'm thinking of? Atomic Heart. Right.
Exactly. Something like that. All right.
Yeah, something in the same vein.
Let's take a
Maybe not
look.
the exact same.
Yeah. So obviously audio's off.
Then look no
Oh, okay. Hold on.
Atomfall. Here at Rebellion.
Yeah.
Rated M for mature.
If you've been waiting for a special occasion to break out your hazmat suit, then look no further than Atomfall. Here at Rebellion, we are excited to introduce you to this new world and what it has to offer. However, there's far more to Atomfall than what we can showcase in a single video. This is just a glimpse of what's to come.
Ham, quick side note. Very quick side note. I'm a huge fan of the English accent.
Yeah.
Like I really, really, really like it.
I'm like in the opposite vein. Like I don't mind it like in talking to people. Like I don't mind it in talking to people, but like in story
Yeah.
and like in video games and TV shows, like I guess I don't mind it if it's just part of it, but like if every single person that has like that accent, like I just kind of get exhausted from the same. like I honestly, I kind of wish I wouldn't mind hearing English in other accents outside of English, right? You know what I mean? Like
But but they're so varied because the English accent varies from region. You know, there's like the Southern Cockney accent, then there's the Northerners. They're very different. And then if you bring in like the Irish, the Scottish, dude, for me, I'm just saying, I'm very excited if every
Oh,
character in this game is British.
oh
It's,
man.
I think we need more games like this. All
No, we
right,
don't got enough.
make gaming British again.
No.
Yobi, what's happening, Yobi? What's happening?
That's enough of that.
Atomfall is a brand new single-player, first-person action survival game set in a post-war Britain. It will have you
Let's go.
traversing the Lake District of Northern England, uncovering mysteries about the quarantine zone and the people who
Ah, that's
inhabit
glitchy.
it.
My name's Molly. I got some bits and bobs for sale.
My name's Nat, by the way. Forgive me being curious. We're strangers.
Atomfall takes place in a fictional quarantine in 1962, just 5 years after the real-life event of the Windscale fire, the worst nuclear disaster in British history. However, in this altered version of history, there are more mysterious and sinister things at play behind the scenes, and you must uncover the secrets of what happened. It's up to you to discover the truth behind the disaster and figure out just how much of this world can be saved.
It doesn't matter what else happened, as long as the truth of this place gets out.
Before you can set out on that quest, you'll awaken in the quarantine zone with little knowledge about who you are, the life you've lived, and certainly
I just feel
the
like we're going into
strange new
Hogwarts.
world.
Well,
I just feel like we're going into Hogwarts hearing this. Like, I don't feel like I'm going somewhere where I can die.
you know what? Let me turn the audio off because clearly you have a problem with the accent. So let's try and
No,
just watch
turn
it.
it on. No, turn it on because it's still better than nothing. Like I'm not gonna play the game like this. Like
All right.
that's insane.
All right. I find
I
this
just
so
feel
funny.
like the way I'm being presented the game,
Yeah.
like it just sounds like I'm going. It sounds like a Hogwarts DLC. I'm not even
funny
telling you that
thing
it's bad. I'm just saying for me, it sounds like Hogwarts DLC.
with
Get ready
machine
to
guns.
go into this door. Like, you know, like, I don't know.
Was
That's what it
that
kinda
your
feels
English
like.
accent? Was that your English accent, Ham?
No, that's not even the British accent. That's just what I'm feeling from hearing who I'm listening to. There are plenty of dark British accents that are like kind of scary, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, like, who's doing it right now? I feel like I would be really excited to hear their voice on the next Hogwarts Legacy game, or maybe even Fable, because that kind of makes sense. That voice inflection makes sense for that. But for this, I need like
Gritty.
this game's supposed to be like wild, right? Like Atomic Heart wild, right?
Yes.
So like why do I feel like I'm throwing magic at motherfuckers? Like I don't know.
You're not impressed.
Well, right now I'm waiting for a motherfucker to say Rebellio.
Yeah, all right. All right. With your hating ass. fine.
Maybe.
It's fine.
Hey, someone's got to do it.
Right?
Are you a law-abiding citizen? A terrifying menace to those around you? Or
Oh
are
my
you perhaps
God.
someone just
I mean, that
trying their
crack
best
was
to
loud.
survive in a dangerous,
Yes.
unfamiliar place? The choice is yours. An Atomfall
You can make choices to be a good guy or a bad guy.
That's cool.
some-
That's pretty
That's
dope.
some good stuff. Yes. Yes.
gives you the freedom to embody any role. A village in one of the areas you will visit is controlled by a military group that was sent in to set up and maintain the quarantine after the disaster. A noble
Goodness gracious. What's going on?
Internet. What the fuck?
Some might question the lengths they've gone to restore order.
I shouldn't be gossiping about this stuff.
Armed soldiers patrolling the roads of the village. Robotic sentinels on a hair trigger, prepared to attack at even the slightest hint of aggression. And villagers who live in fear as a result.
Soldiers will string you up for anything these days, and my husband was exploring where they don't like you to explore.
Does this group really have the villagers' best interest at heart?
But step out of line, and I will revoke your liberties here just as quickly as they were given.
Outside of the village is a lawless land filled with bandits and cultists who don't care if you're friendly or not and will attack you on sight.
Be cautious.
There are so many things to consider on your journey through Atomfall.
I do like the way she said
Exploration
on-site.
is a critical...
Well,
So I do like the way she said on site.
yeah.
So she's like,
component of the
"It's on site when I see
experience.
you." Well, it's
Depending
on
on how
site
you
when I see you.
behave.
Especially when it comes to your survival. The quarantine zone is in the idyllic countryside of northern England, but it is not as it once was. An abandoned rail yard, a derelict stone quarry, and
this is like
verdant
2 FPS.
rolling
This is
hills
killing my eye.
contain more than just pieces of a prior civilization. As you
It's smooth
explore
on
these
my end.
places,
Sorry.
you'll
it's not
find
on mine.
secret bandit hideouts, mysterious messages, secrets, clues, and leads that might help you figure out how the world fell apart. These can lead you to eccentric characters, secret hideaways, or even the rundown bunkers of the British Atomic Research Division. You'll never know when or where fragments of the bigger picture will be brought into focus, but you will always need to be on guard. These facilities may not be as populated as they once were. However, the halls are often patrolled by the same robots used to patrol the rest of the quarantine zone, as well as radiated feral creatures that won't hesitate to tear you apart. You will also come across caves and underground tunnels that seem to have been affected by the wind-scale disaster the most. Glowing plants and mushrooms cover the walls, floor and ceiling of these places,
Oh,
giving off a hazy fog that makes them more dangerous to traverse than other places you may go. However, the environment is not all you need to worry about. The same terrifying ferals found in the bunkers also live in these areas and will not stop to ask questions before trying to tear you apart. Be sure to be well equipped to handle these creatures and be extra cautious, as not everything is as it seems.
You're trapped in the quarantine zone around the
It's
scale
gonna be light ammo.
what?
It's gonna be light ammo in this game.
Yeah, I'm getting Metro vibes from this one.
How are you going to defend yourself against all these threats? You're going to need weapons, supplies, and materials, all of which you can find through scavenging the locations of Atomfall. However, if you truly want to survive, some things may need to be taken by force. The weapons you will come across include melee weapons, like the cricket bat,
Cricket.
or ranged weapons, like pistols, rifles,
Think you're good with that thing?
and shotguns.
Get this over with, Sean.
Each with their own strengths and weaknesses. During your journey through Atomfall, you may even unlock the ability to upgrade your weapons and give them more power. The ammo for these weapons will be in short supply, so you must either find or craft what you need to survive. However, weapons are not the only thing you will need on your journey. You will gather resources, like cloth and alcohol, to craft various items, to heal yourself, or harm your enemies. Over time, you'll expand your crafting abilities to create more aggressive tools of self-protection. Other tools at your disposal include a flashlight to light the dark paths ahead, and a trusty metal detector to locate buried caches of supplies. A handy ping will alert you when one of these caches is nearby, signaling you to equip the metal detector and begin the hunt. When you aren't scavenging for materials or searching for buried treasure, you might also find various manuals that contain valuable knowledge. These manuals will imbue your character with
It doesn't look as hard as Stalker, right?
Yeah, sure, I can see that.
Yeah, it looks more like Far Cry-ish, kind of chill.
With new skills across 4 categories: ranged combat,
You're right. It is kind of the
melee
Far Cry
combat,
version of Stalker.
Yeah, yeah.
I could totally see that, where it's like still difficult, but like yeah, I could see that. It doesn't try to be ultra realistic either.
survival, and conditioning. Even at the
So
end of the
I said
world,
it doesn't try to be
knowledge
ultra
is power.
realistic either.
Careful selection of which skills you
Oh
focus
yeah,
on.
yeah. I like the little upgrades for your charisma, and so it means that you're not just. It's a little bit of Fallout as well, so you can get through certain sections or whatever by
It probably
talking to
reminds me of
people.
the Fallout the most, to be honest.
Really, Fallout, but it's
Mm-hmm.
it's not all run down and stuff like that. So
It
how is
reminds
that
me
Fallout?
of a really cut down version of Fallout
Mm,
without. I don't think you'll be able to wear a power suit in this game. I don't think so.
probably not. I haven't seen
Right,
anything
not so like just like a cut down version of Fallout outside of power suit only.
with some Stalker and Far Cry.
I also find various manuals that contain valuable knowledge. These manuals will imbue your character with new skills across 4 categories: ranged combat, melee combat, survival, and conditioning. Even at the end of the world, knowledge is power. Careful selection of which skills you focus on will determine your playstyle and the path you carve out for yourself in Atomfall. We won't be going fully in depth on these skills and what each one entails right now, but as you progress, you will need to pick and choose what type of playstyle you want to focus on in Atomfall.
I really should stop talking. Not personal, but you can't trust anyone too much these days, can you?
We hope you enjoyed the first glimpse into the world of Atomfall. Leave a comment with what you are most excited to see.
Jesus.
When the game releases on March 27th, 2025. Atomfall will be releasing day 1 on Game Pass, Xbox Series, and Xbox One consoles. You can also play on PC through Windows, Steam, and Epic Games, as well as PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4. Stay
Jeez,
tuned.
why did PlayStation get the last mention? What are we doing? What are we doing? Ham, did you notice that?
Advertising correctly.
Wait, but did you notice that though?
I mean, it sounded right to me. I was ready to leave.
You were ready to leave as soon as it said Xbox.
I was
As
ready
soon
to
as it said
roll
Xbox,
out.
you were good.
I was a transformer. I was ready to roll out.
That's a bit much. That's a bit much. Okay, but you don't think there's some shade there on PlayStation?
No. There's a
Come
reason they
on,
still
man.
said their name. They could have said, "Hey, we ain't putting the game over there," but they didn't.
Yeah, but PlayStation is usually the first one mentioned.
No, it's not. Quit being a pony. There's plenty of
I'm not.
times. There's plenty of
All right, I'm
times
back,
where
guys.
they're the last time, or they're the last ones mentioned. I've heard it plenty of other times. Not
Okay.
nothing new.
Hold on. Matt, we
Yeah.
were looking. We were looking at an in-depth like video on Atomfall, and at the end of
Yep.
the video, right? We need you to be unbiased here. All right. At the end of the video, the chick in the video is like, Atomfall is coming out March 27th, I think, on Xbox. Atomfall will be available on Xbox Game Pass, PC, Steam. She mentioned all these other platforms, and then at the end she says PS5 and PS4.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Yeah,
All right.
that's weird.
What?
Yes.
I
No.
don't know why Luke has this. Like he's broken his pinky. It's so far out.
Buddy, I thought you were gonna add something wild onto that. but you didn't.
But Matt, isn't PlayStation mentioned first and then the other platforms?
No, it's not, because obviously it wasn't.
No, I'm not talking about in this video. I'm saying like on average, that's what happens.
But it didn't.
And he's acting like it's new, like it's never happened before. Like it's happened plenty of times.
Yeah, that's not a big deal, look.
Especially
It's still,
depending on who has the marketing rights, which I'm pretty sure Xbox has the marketing rights.
Yeah, Xbox has the marketing rights. I mean, it's in
So-
fucking Game Pass.
So there's
That's
that.
not crazy.
All right.
Like, dude, I
If
mean,
PlayStation had the marketing rights, they would have probably said PlayStation first. But
yeah.
no.
I mean, if let's say Stalker came out everywhere day one, they would probably say Xbox first because it's
That's
in
funny.
Game Pass.
Loke's like, somebody else can pay for the marketing rights. That's fine, but they need to say PlayStation first.
That's not what
Look, there's no way you believe that, Luke. There's just no
I
way.
didn't say that. I
That's
did not
what he
say.
believes. There is a way, man. There's a way.
No.
It's some
Anyways,
degenerate shit.
anyway, Matt, another thing
Dude
me and
can't
Maham were
stop brushing his
discussing was
mane.
my main is PC, and you know this. Stop it. Another thing me and Ham were talking about was the English accent in video games. I think we need more games set in Britain or England or Ireland or whatever.
Ugh.
Yeah, I wonder what Ham's reaction to that was.
Not a fan. Because
yeah.
Atomfall is essentially set in England,
Yeah,
and there's going to be lots of English
countryside.
accents. What do you think about that? Do you think we have a dearth of English games, or we're good?
I think it's great. I love English shit. I like English TV shows. I mean, not all of them. Some of them are pretty shit. But like, I like English humor. I like English scenery. Again,
So dry.
not all of it. Some of it's pretty shit. So like, yeah, I like that stuff. I don't have a problem with it. I mean, think about Fable coming up supposedly this year. That's probably going to have a lot of English humor in it because it's an
accents.
English game. Yeah, and accents. It's an English game. So I think it's good.
But my argument isn't that we need more. I like I'm looking forward to Fable. I'm pretty much looking forward to Atomfall. I'm not like dying for it, but I'm like really looking forward to Fable,
yeah.
right? And there's other games with English accents, like A Plague Tale had a very European accent as well, right?
European, not English.
Exactly. That's why I said European.
All right. All right.
Like there's plenty of games that have European accents that I really like, but in British accents to even say that too as well, right? Like one of the games that really drove it home that, man, I'm just not feeling this accent is and you're gonna blame it on the game. I know you are, but I'm just telling you, like TV shows, I get tired of it in some TV shows as well, right? Like, but like which the TV shows, it's just like I'm just not into the TV show. It's not their fault, right? It's just I'm not. There are certain TV shows that are funny as hell though, but yeah, for me it's just very selective, I guess, at the end of the day. And,
you were about to give us a game.
The game that I was talking about though was Watch Dogs. Oh my god.
Oh, what, Legion?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was
Legion made me.
What you mean when you said
that accent for like 5 solid years? Like I just hated that accent. Just not just talking to people, because I don't give a damn about talking to people. Like talking to people, they sound how they sound. I'm talking about like playing a video game and running around and like talking back and forth or watching watching a TV show and like I don't know, like watching the original Office, which I actually love that show. It was hard for me getting through it because I was just like, it wasn't that the humor was dry because I thought the humor was hilarious, right? Ricky Gervais, hilarious, but like I was just like kind of nodding off while watching it because it was just, I mean, just the way it sounds was just so man.
I mean, that's fair. Like you don't. Some people like
When I hear them talking, I just think of a cloudy day.
Oh, sure. Listen, I like some people just don't like the fucking English accent that much. It's whatever. Like I'm not gonna sit here and say I love English accents because to me it's like I'm a foreigner, so obviously it sounds weird to me. But like I guess I've gotten kind of used to it. Just like growing up watching shit like Mighty Boosh, the IT Crowd, and like the Big Fat Quiz. I watched that like every year because I just stumbled upon it one year.
Yeah.
So like watching shit like that, I guess I've just gotten used to it. Obviously, you mentioned The Office. Watching The Office, like I got used to it, and it doesn't really bother me that much.
Another voice is like the Jersey Shore kind of accent.
Yeah, that's terrible. That's grating. That's like sandpaper.
Is like,
I don't like that.
Like I'll take the English accent any day.
Bro,
oh, dude,
1000%.
that is like nails on the wall for me.
What's the Jersey Shore accent? I don't think I've ever heard it.
Like
really douchey. I mean, for males, like just really douchey. Like super.
It's like
hyper
East
masculine,
Coast, but like obnoxious as shit.
Yes, it's any East Coast accent turned to like 5 trillion%, and it's almost like they're doing a character, but I swear they're not. That's just how they talk, and it's crazy to me,
bro.
It's disorienting a little bit, to be real.
Yo, I think I triggered you guys on this whole accent thing.
Yo, hey man, we all have things that we like more than others, right?
True. Yes, true. Preference.
We just do. That's just how we decipher what we like versus what we don't like.
That's fair. That's fair. Like for me, I'm a gigantic fan of the English accent. Like,
there you go.
I wish everyone spoke English that way.
Well, I don't feel that way. Jesus Christ.
I'm saying.
I like it, but it's not like that.
I'm starting to feel like Matt Hum right here.
What do you say? Anything other than American. So Matt,
that's a real patriot right there.
Matthew, is that why you only like when I'm live, you hop on just to say hi and then you dip because my accent is not American? Is that the reason?
Your accent's about as American as it gets. Deep.
Yeah, I know, right?
South.
He tries he uses an accent while he's here.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, if people heard what you sound like when we're talking off the show, oh my god.
We had to get this man to stop saying "giddy up." Like,
I know,
was using that.
The amount of time.
He'd be like, "Yo, we're trying to get this show started, man. Giddy up, giddy up, giddy up."
Dude, the amount of times I have to tell Luke calm down after he says "get her done," it's pretty insane. It's pretty crazy. You should hear it off show.
I can't breathe.
He's about as southern as it gets. He's basically a black Larry the Cable Guy.
Yeah, bro.
Basically.
Don't choke on your chew now.
He's a patriot. He's a real
American. All right. I need a minute.
American man.
That's Luke. That's Luke's theme song.
Oh, damn! Imagine if I was from Texas. That's wild.
Yeah, imagine. It's so hard to imagine. Oh god. Oh man, I can't imagine
Appreciate you, Matthew. I really appreciate that.
When the
Hot
wind's
chocolate
crashing
on a cold
down and
day.
it hurts inside.
that.
guys,
Dun,
guys,
dun, 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 dun. You ready?
we need to stop. We need to stop with this Texas joke. Because
Dude,
as you can see, even in the comment section, Matthew is giving me a compliment, but at the end, what does it say? But probably fake. Guys, people are starting to believe this. Right? People are starting to believe this.
but the thing is, he said probably like it isn't.
Okay.
Like there's a chance that it isn't fake.
This is the last time
Yeah, it
I'm
shows that he
inviting you
has
on.
hope.
All right,
Up with
Matt.
hope,
This is
Yeah,
the
it's,
down
last
with dope.
time. This is the last time I'm inviting
well,
you on, Matt. This
well,
is
quick
ridiculous.
question:
What?
Are you able, if someone gave you a fiddle, could you play "The Devil Went Down to Georgia"? Could you do that?
All right, all right. Bromain, welcome in. Voidlock, welcome. Loke love Texas more than the motherland. No,
Originally, that
This
actually,
is
first
that.
L
That is
stood
his
for
motherland.
Louisiana.
Louisiana,
this like this is getting crazier.
Louisiana Loke.
All right, all right. And it right. Oh, welcome in, Voidlock. All right, let's get to the news because this is getting out of control.
That there gator right there is kind of
GTA 6. Ham, sit down. GTA 6. This is from GameSpot. GTA 6 costing as much as $100 could help video game industry rebound in 2025.
So time out.
Analysts say.
Before we even get into this article,
That's hilarious.
I want to throw out a disclaimer and at least let Matt know that this was what I was talking about when I said Loke is already hot. Like Loke is already hot. Like I called Loke to ask him, hey, I was like, hey Loke, we doing the show today? I knew we were probably doing the show today, right? like
better
what
fuck
I
with me.
wanted to do was just like, you know how sometimes Mark Jackson would like be like, hey Reggie, how you doing today, man?
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden, Reggie Miller is mad as hell before the basketball game.
That's-
Yeah.
Really?
And Mark Jackson's just, you know, he hanging out. He just chilling. He
Chilling.
passing the ball to a mad ass Reggie Miller.
I'm
That's
glad.
what I just did. I was Mark Jackson and I was like, hey, look, how you doing? We doing the show today? Oh, okay, great. So guess what Rockstar is thinking? And guess who said it? And he's like, who said it? And I was like, GameSpot. And he's like, he shut down. Like, bro got frustrated. And I was like, got his ass. Let's go. We're on.
And we were having a good conversation up until you brought up this foolishness. That's also important to note. We're having a good chat, just between butts. Poison Maniac says I knew something was off about Loki.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get back to this foolishness. So usually, what happens, since Ham came here with the disclaimer, what usually happens is I tee the topic up, everyone else has a go with it, and then we keep going. Today, like Ham just said, I'm a bit hot on this topic. I have a lot to say. Y'all might as well mute your mics for like 5 minutes. I will try to keep it below 5 minutes. Okay? Okay. Let's start off with this headline. So first off, GameSpot, this is foolishness. This is not the type of stuff you should be publishing. This puts you on the same level as rag sites like freaking Kotaku. Okay? This is why GameSpot, this is why you're not even in my shortcuts for the places where I go in terms of sources for news. All right? It's IGN, VGC, Gematsu, and GameRant. You're not even there. Even PC Games End is way above GameSpot because of this foolishness. All right, but let's get into the headline. GTA 6 costing as much as $100 could help video game industry rebound in 2025. Rebound from what? To rebound, you must be on a downward slope. That's not happening to the video game industry. Video game industry is fine. It's making bank as it's always made bank. Obviously, it's not COVID money, but it's a shit ton of cash. A metric ton of cash. And the only ones failing are the incompetents. All right? Concord, Suicide Squad, etc., etc. But if you're halfway decent, halfway competent, you're making money in gaming. All right? So just off the bat, this is rubbish. There's no rebounding. There's no rebounding that's needed here. Let's go. If Take-Two raises prices to 80, okay, whatever. Veteran investment analyst and researcher Matthew Ball. The fuck is Matthew Ball? Has anyone here heard of Matthew Ball? Do you guys know who this guy is? And it says that he's a
He
veteran.
made that new song, didn't
he? What
Yeah.
song?
Whoa, whoa.
No, Ham. No, that's not the right person. It's not the same. And also, even if it were,
He just
he
got
needs to
signed, right?
he needs to stay his ass. He needs to stay his ass in music. That's what it needs to.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
All right.
Oh, snap. Oh, that's Leangelo. He needs.
All right.
Okay. My bad.
All right. Matthew Ball of Epilon
whoa.
has released. Who the fuck knows about Epilon? What is Epilon?
Look it up
Come
real
on.
quick, bud.
Do they sell like
That's fine.
EpiPens? Do they sell tampons? The fuck do they sell? Because clearly
sell
they
cheesecake.
don't sell proper insight. They've released a gargantuan 219-page report about the state of video gaming in 2025.
Yay.
Damn. And they
I love
came up with
280-page
GTA
reports.
needing to cost $100? Or games
And
in
some of the
general?
presentation looks at how the video game industry can possibly grow in 2025. This is the real story, ladies and gentlemen. It's about growth. It's about the parasites in video games. It's about the CEOs and the perpetual growth that needs to happen in everything that's invested in.
Mm-hmm.
This is the real headline. All of this is all fluff to obfuscate the real goal here. It's just about creating unsustainable growth. There's nothing that can perpetually grow. At least not in terms of finances. It's not possible. There needs to be growth and contraction. Perpetual growth, that's how you get into pyramid schemes. And video games it's starting to look like it. It's starting to look very much like a pyramid scheme. When you look at the amount of games people have been sinking money into and getting nothing in return. Again, look at Concord.
Mm.
In a section titled How Player Time and Player Spend Might Return to Growth. Again, motherfucker. Jesus.
Man, that sentence really stunk. I tell you.
Fellas, what are we doing? The fuck are we doing? Just make a good game, get your money, and bounce. You don't have to make all the money in the world. And even then, I swear, fellas, I swear, if these companies made all the money in the world, do you know what they'd want the next fiscal year? They'd want $1 on top of all the money in the world. I don't know where we're going to get it. Maybe from the aliens in Mexico. Maybe from the extraterrestrials that people have been filming.
Yeah.
I don't know where we're going to get it because we don't have any more people that are still buying games.
That's where we start venturing into space. We start populating life on other planets.
Because we need more gamers. That's the goal.
I think we start marketing
Money.
to the wildlife.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
Dude,
a
set-
lot of them that have not got into gaming properly.
Yep.
Like,
You know what I've
dude,
never
have you
seen?
seen the recent studies on gorillas?
There you go.
No,
They can
no.
make us. They can make us a solid amount of money in 2026 if we
Yeah.
focus our resources.
I've never seen a deer with VR goggles. That needs to change. That needs to be fixed.
Oh my god. Y'all y'all are killing me. Ball mentioned a variety of opportunities, including, and here we go, Grand Theft Auto 6 costing as much as $100 when
Did you
it
say
launches.
opportunities?
Yes, so it's
Can you
not
reread
just
that
Grand
part
Theft.
just one more time, buddy? That's pretty good on my ears.
Matthew Ball of Epilon mentioned a variety of opportunities,
Variety.
including, right, Grand Theft Auto 6 costing as much as $100 when it launches this year.
I'm one of
And
his
now we get to
ops.
the fun part. Now we get to the really fun part. Ball
Great.
said, right? Ball said, and I quote, "There is hope
Oh yeah, let's go.
that Take-Two will price GTA 6 at $80 or even $100." Where is this hope, Ball?
This man
Who
said hope.
who has this hope?
I'm gonna look. I'm gonna look this fella up real quick and see. I want to see something. What's his name? Matthew Ball. Matthew Ball.
One by one, people are losing it. This is great. I'm so happy I brought this to Luke's attention.
Like,
he's
Because we
Epilon.
can spread the discomfort amongst our fellow gamers, and all of us can be uncomfortable at the same time. It's great. It's great.
Bro, I'm gonna
I wish
be
there was
real
more.
with you.
I wish there was more people hitting the like button and sharing this out and subscribing and shit like that. That really wanted to be like, yo, like come over here and share our pain. Like this is the kind of way that people are looking at us. You know, we're a nice opera. We're a perfect lick to be hit. We are the lick. We are the lick. They're not looking to save us anything. They're like the hell with what Sean Layden said. Let's spend more. Let's spend more money.
Let's spend more and make more.
This guy looks. I'm gonna be real. He looks like a douche. This guy looks like a douchebag. I just want to put that out there.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, going back to the article, it says there's hope that Take-Two will price GTA 6 at $80 to even $100. I want to know is who is hoping this?
Man.
Like,
Well,
besides,
Poison Maniac in the chat says $100 game, better, release flawless, and microtransaction free. And then Ty follows it up by saying Matthew is speaking from the industry perspective right now. Costs are high and profits are not there, which is hurting the industry. If GTA does this, it might allow other developers to follow. And to me, it's like there's been a lot of games that succeed off of just being a good game and launching properly.
but that's too hard, Ham. That's too hard.
So why should we incentivize them to then charge us more to then give us what's usually nowadays a partial experience that degrades that somehow that somehow the game improves over time, but the price degrades. It's like so backwards, right? Like how many like there's no car that you're rolling off the dealership that gets better over. I mean, I guess nowadays, now that they got updates into everything, right? So I'm assuming maybe your Tesla, when you roll it off the dealership, might be better tomorrow than it was today because of updates. But wouldn't you have a problem buying your Tesla if you knew that the fourth gear was fucked up. You know what I'm saying? It has 6 gears or 8 gears or however many gears the thing has, but the 4th gear is fucked up for everybody. Right? So like to me it's just like to then say, "Hey, we're going to remedy it by charging you more." What the fuck? Hold up. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you talking about? How is that going to fix the issue?
And speaking to your car analogy, Ham, even if Teslas get updated, the door handles don't get updated, the seating doesn't get updated, the engine, the wear and tear of the engine, the ignition, the suspension, there's no car that's ever been created that the value not no car, most cars, the value goes down. The only ones that the value go up, the cost of upkeep kind of like spreads out the cost, right? For example, my favorite car, the Defender, the cost actually either maintains or goes up because it's like an antique or whatever. Or like the Lamborghini Miura, for example, from 68, I think. Point is, most cars lose value as time goes by. But I'd like to address these comments here.
Well, can I say one last thing before I address before I let you address it? Like, Ty uses, like he said, even Larian says game cost is expensive. When a game fails, it hurts a lot. You know what? Being a podcaster is expensive, and failing at that can hurt a lot.
Yeah.
Do you not see what I'm saying? Why is that your problem as a viewer? Why must I make Sir X-Man pay more in memberships because of my problems? Because I decided to make an art choice that cost way too much money and I delivered it underbaked. Why is that the customer's problem?
It's a fair question. I think it answers itself, honestly. As for the other comments that you brought, that you highlighted, Poison Maniac said $100 game better release flawlessly and microtransaction free.
Yeah.
I can't name one game that came out flawless, even the mighty Kojima. Even God Jima. I don't remember the last time he released a flawless game. As from
I
microtransaction
mean, Red
free,
Dead 2 came out pretty flawless.
no, it
Mm.
didn't.
Thought it
Like
did. What was wrong with
okay,
it?
I don't know,
I mean,
man.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I'm
It's
just
never
not
been
the.
patched. If it's never been patched, if it came out day one and that was it, it's never been patched. Hey, man, I'll take that L.
Well, of course. Okay.
I'll take
Okay.
that
We're
L.
gonna do that. All right. Sure. All right.
Poison
If
Maniac.
we're doing
As
that.
for the microtransaction free, if it's Grand Theft Auto, like forget, we're never getting a Grand Theft Auto with no microtransactions. It
Yep.
doesn't matter how much they charge us, whether it's 100, 300, it doesn't matter. As for Ty's point, he says Matthew is speaking from the industry perspective. Right now, costs are high and profits are not there, which is hurting the industry. If GTA does this, it might allow our developers to follow. Listen,
Huh.
cost like Ham said, costs are high, but the customer didn't set the cost. Like we didn't say you better spend $1 billion. You better spend $100 million to make a game. We didn't say that. They sat there, made bad decisions, released Concord, and it hurt them. So to Ham's point, that's not our problem. Right? Just deliver a good product and we'll buy it. Deliver a
Can I
shit
say?
product and we won't buy it. Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, can I say to that, to Ty's point, like like nobody. Yeah, he's right. He is speaking from the perspective of an analyst. The problem is nobody wants to hear the perspective of an analyst, especially nobody who's on GameSpot. Like nobody
No.
who goes to GameSpot for gaming news wants to hear that they should be paying more for video games and that we should be so lucky to be paying more for video. Nobody wants to hear that. And like I know it's like a whole joke in America, like the cost of eggs. We literally just got our groceries delivered. 2 cartons of like eggs was like $14. So, like, in a time when that's happening, I don't want to hear from fucking this douchey looking fuck that I should be happy to be
To pay more.
spending $100. I should be so lucky to be spending that. There's great opportunity to be spending that. I don't like. Here's the thing. If that's what it costs, that's what it costs. But I don't want to hear some guy being like, "Oh, it would be a really great opportunity. It would be a wonderful moment for game." No, no, it wouldn't. It'd be horrible. It'd be stupid. People would buy it, and it's one of the few cases where that would be the case. People would just suck it up and buy it because it's GTA. But
Mm.
like if GTA does it, and then suddenly, fucking, trying to think of a game that's kind of have
Madden's coming right after GTA. You know it.
yeah, sure.
As soon as
If
GTA
there you
pulls
go.
this, Madden is now costing $100 a pop.
But I'm not even talking about Madden because there's people who will buy Madden for $100. No questions asked. There's people who will do that because it's the game they play every year. I'm saying like imagine a regular mid-average game.
The
Let's
Last
say
of
they
Us
come out with
Part 3. The Last of Us Part
Outriders
3 is going
2.
to be mid.
Let's say Outriders 2. Outriders 2 comes out. It's $100.
Mm.
Well, Rockstar set the precedent. This is just what games should be doing now. There's a great opportunity here for gamers and game developers alike to price things at 100. Like that's such an obscenely stupid and tone deaf take to have in 2025. But like, and
It's crazy.
honestly, at that point, why not make it 200? Why are we stopping at 100 if that's what like
What?
why not say, oh, it'd be a
Yeah,
great
why stop
opportunity if
there,
it
right?
was exactly like if we're just doing this arbitrarily, why not make it 500? GTA 5 or GTA 6 should cost $500. Why
It's
not do
your
that?
platform game. You don't ever need to leave again.
Exactly.
It is the most Roblox you'll ever see.
Exactly
Um,
that. Like that's my point. Like that
I'm
sounds
about to kick
stupid.
both of y'all off the show. What the fuck?
Look,
Don't be
that's
giving
the
them no
point.
idea.
That sounds stupid the same way the $100 sounds stupid. My point is it's already stupid. Why not make it more stupid?
What's
Like
stopping you from going to 200?
yeah, like if we're doing this whole thing where we're just making up random prices and assigning value to things that we don't even know what the value of it really is until we actually see it and can play it, why 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 not just go insane with it? Like this guy's an industry analyst and good for him, whatever. I'm sure he's happy. I'm sure his life is good. I'm sure he's making the money he wants to make. That's great. But like, dude, when I get onto GameSpot, I don't want to see you telling me that I should be happy to pay more. That's stupid. And it's tone deaf.
Yeah. Yeah. What the? Oh my God, Ty. Maybe I should have sent you a link, Ty. Because this is foolishness. Ty says gamers are so entitled. Music and movie
Oh
fans ain't
God.
this bad.
I like you,
Games
Ty,
will,
but that's terrible.
Yeah,
games
I
will
don't know, man.
That's
cost.
There's a
horrible.
reason. There's a reason that the
What?
hear me out real quick, Luke. There's a reason why the Superman comic that is worth as much as it's worth today, like being thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars, whatever, right?
Mhm.
But the day that it came out, it was worth just as much as everything else. There's a reason behind that. Because through time, they found worth in it compared to to the other writings, to the other comics, and other stuff like that. The people said, hey, this is worth a lot of money.
This is special.
This is special, right?
Mhm.
The people put the price to that eventually. Just like you see in Sega Saturn games and stuff like that nowadays, right? It's hard to get it because the people said, hey, this only has so many copies, and whether you think it's good or not, I can dictate this price now because so many people want this, right? Sure, you can say GTA can do that, but then you're allowing the business to do it. And to me, the business shouldn't be able to dictate that. The business shouldn't be able to dictate its worth like that. Not without being upfront and you knowing exactly what it's worth from the jump, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I feel that this is still a video game at the end of the day. This is still needing a console to be played on, just like every other game is. Yeah, it needs internet connection, just like every other game. It needs to be priced just like every other game. Now, if you make this game somehow offline and playable, or add all this good content to it that makes it then worth it in the future, and then bundle it or give away for somebody to have access or keep it valuable, then maybe at a time later on, the person that has that product can dictate the price on it. I feel like giving a company the opportunity just to raise prices whenever the hell they feel like they did more than you deserve is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, these are all my only problem with this. I mean, other than the fact that it's stupid, which I think we all agree on, is the fact that
For the first time, Matt. Sorry to interrupt. For the first time, we all agree on something.
Yes,
That
this
is
is
something.
stupid. But my only problem with it, really, besides being obscenely dumb, is the fact that he said it in public, and not just in public, but on a gaming website, not an analytic website, not like a website that like specializes in talking about businesses and money and all that stuff. On a gaming website, this is an article off of GameSpot. That's stupid. Like, and here's the thing. To be real, conversations like what this guy's doing in that article, that happens probably all the time. Microsoft probably has those conversations. You know, Sony has those conversations. You know, EA has those conversations. You goddamn well know Take-Two's having that conversation right now with GTA 6. You do, like, all these companies are having that conversation. So he's not doing anything that isn't happening already. He's just doing it and on the dumbest possible form to do it. No gamer wants to see that on their gaming news website. Just being
I
real.
don't know. I don't know. There's some people that will be super excited about paying more, especially
I'm sure there will
especially
be.
if they're playing on PlayStation.
There's this fictional sense of worth if it costs more, but that's been debunked so many times. So many times. The same in this industry has debunked that.
This generation.
That's true.
I mean, just last year was debunked.
Yep, so many.
How much was Helldivers? Was it the most expensive game out there? I mean, hell, let's take it a step further. How much was Power World?
Yeah.
The game wasn't even out and done yet, but people found more value in that than however the hell much y'all thought. What's that? The one game from Square Enix that failed immediately.
Oh yeah,
Foam Stars.
The one with
Foam
the chick.
Stars. Yeah, the game. Already forgetting about it, but yeah, that was worth how much? That cost more than that.
Hell yeah, it costs more than Power World.
It costs more than Power World. So, I mean, oh, you want us to talk about Xbox? Well, let's talk about Redfall then. Redfall.
Yeah.
They gave us a price of what they thought it was worth, but look at what we got out of it. I'll talk about my own favorite platform. They charge us $70 for that dog. That was that not only was that $70, that was the first $70 game
Oof.
from Xbox in history. And they said, hey, that is what it's worth. Pay on it. And people did. And we're not going to sit here and say, no one here is going to sit here and tell me that game was worth it. I don't care how you feel about it now. It was not even close to being worth it at launch.
No, it was a mess. Dude, like, there's not many games. In fact, I'd probably struggle to think of them. But how many games this generation are better than both Cyberpunk and Elden Ring? It's not, you could probably count it on one hand. If you even have
But what's your
that's better
point
than
then?
those two.
But what's your
Bro,
point?
I
Because
got
that's
Cyberpunk for
not fair.
$50 on launch for console.
But that's not a fair
my-
question to make, Matt. That's why I'm saying. What's your point?
My point is, Lo, is that Cyberpunk is $60. Elden Ring is $60. Lots of games are $70. How many of those $70 games have you played that you were like, this is definitively better? This is giving me a better experience than both Elden Ring or Cyberpunk.
Oh, well, it's never been about us, right? And this is the
But that's the
issue.
thing. This is about us because it's on a website devoted to gamers and gaming news, supposedly. So this is about us.
So again, it's not about us. Like
It is not.
the same way people rag on what's his face, Jeff Keighley. At some point, guys, gaming became mainstream.
Bro, it's been
So
mainstream forever.
yeah, no, not forever. It started off as
Okay,
like
not literally forever, but since like
yeah,
after 2010, it's been
yeah,
mainstream.
yeah. So before then, right, in the before times, a lot of things around gaming was just passionate people that just loved pressing the buttons on a controller and watching things happen on the screen. That's what most of gaming was. It's not that anymore. So to your point, Matt, that's why I was saying it's not really about us. It's because exactly that. It's not about us anymore. It's about maximizing profit. That's all it is. Like there's no devs getting well, they
Okay,
exist, but
well,
the
you
majority.
two decipher that differently. Just to kind of throw that out there, because Matt's saying it's about us because the subject that they're talking about is about us in our pockets. You're saying
Yeah,
that hey, it's not about us.
In terms of
What they're
value,
trying to accomplish,
and I
yes,
agree with that
and
because, like I
that's
said,
yeah. You guys are saying
the same thing
kind of
again.
the same thing.
and I totally agree because, like I said, Microsoft is having that. What this guy's talking about, Microsoft's having that conversations. PlayStation, Take Two, EA, Ubisoft. I know whatever we joke about Ubisoft, but like everybody's having that conversation. So what you're saying isn't wrong. For them, it's about maximizing their profit because they're businesses. That's what businesses want to do. But literally, this article, what he's saying is targeted at us.
Oh yeah.
But my point is that it should not be. That's some shit that you put on a different website that's not targeted at us. The fact that it's on a website that's like, here's this for gamers is my biggest issue with it. It's stupid. It's not for gamers. It's something for analysts. This is like for Satya Nadella or like Sean Layden or like what's Herman Holst or something. Like that's who this article's for. It's not for us.
When you said Herman, I thought you said I automatically heard Smith. My bad.
Bro, like I couldn't imagine them saying, "Hey, we came out with Bad Boys 5 and it's a 6-hour movie and that's why you got to pay $55 for it." I don't think anybody's buying a movie for $55.
Never.
I think
They'll be like,
moviegoers.
yo, I'll rent that shit. Fuck that.
Yep.
I think moviegoers are less passionate. Well, I wouldn't say less passionate, but they're less likely to.
Willy nilly with their money.
I
Yeah,
don't even I don't even think it's less passion.
I
It's
don't think
just
they
the
have the
fact that like
opportunity to be that willy nilly though.
that yeah, like there's no reason like never historically it's never cost like $60 to just get a movie off the shelf. It's never costed this. So like they versus like as gamers we go to the store and look at a game and grab it. It regularly can cost us $60. Usually nowadays more than that if we're being real. So it's like that $60 to us versus what it is to them is a lot different.
So I wanted to pivot to something important that Serixman brought up earlier. He did accuse us of ignoring, but we were so down the rabbit hole in one direction. It didn't make sense, in my opinion, to pivot to something else. But he essentially said if this happens industry wide,
Hmm.
Game Pass will be one of the biggest beneficiaries of this change. What do you guys think?
I agree, but it also raises the question of what do they do to Game Pass in terms of the pricing at that point? Because if we're living in a world where Microsoft's like, yo, all of our games are $100,
Yeah.
that's gonna affect the price of Game Pass. That's gonna bump it up a little bit. How much though? But yeah, I agree to his point. Like I totally agree. If they do it right in a world where that's the standard,
Hmm.
that puts Game Pass in a really unique position that just to be real, most subscriptions aren't in a position like that. So,
You might
it-
you might even see like PlayStation going day one with PS Plus.
yeah, dude, that would be a huge draw. And here's the thing: if PlayStation said day one games, and they were like, I don't know, let's make up a number, $25 a month, day one, you get access to all of our games. I think maybe I'm speaking out of turn, but I think for a lot of people that would be fair. But like without the day one games, to me, PlayStation Plus is just kind of useless because I don't use it. But that would change if that was the case.
Ham, Ham, you still there?
He's disappeared.
I'm with my
I
daughter.
think.
Just give me a second.
Oh, okay. Dorian Gray says, "I love when people saying gamers are entitled. Motherfucker, I'm spending my money. You're damn right
Exactly.
I'm entitled. Are you entitled for wanting a certain color car or food that tastes good? Ty, I think that one's for you, bud. I think that one's all you." Dorian then says gaming
Yeah.
is the only sector of commerce where they give the customer shit for wanting satisfaction for their money.
And
That's
and
fair.
and you're and compared to a decent amount of other hobby, and we just talked about the whole movie goers and like big movie buff people. Compared to that, or even just people like who collect music like CDs, vinyls and stuff. Now vinyls, depending on what you're looking at, can get pricey, but like
Yeah.
you're talking about like movies versus gaming. It's like, dude, you're asking a lot more money. You're asking for a lot more money from us. All I want, because like all of our tastes are different. Something I might like, you don't like, vice versa. So like all of our tastes are different. At the end of the day, the only thing we want collectively is that the thing that we bought felt worth it. And when it doesn't feel worth it, and I'm not going to say GTA 6 won't feel worth it because I think GTA 6 is I think everyone would agree GTA 6 is going to be a fucking monumental. But like it's just I don't want that to be the standard because if it becomes a standard, there's going to be so many instances of like I dropped $100 for this game and man, it just
It was
stunk.
terrible.
It was terrible, and that's not good. That's just
Yeah,
not. That's not a good feeling,
I can see that future.
dude. I've dropped
I
30
can see
bucks
it.
on a game that was terrible and felt like disheveled,
Damn, what game was it?
dude. We talked about it literally Monday when I came on, dude. Lords of the Fallen I got on sale,
Oof.
and I bought it, and I was like, because I saw the whole premise, like the whole two different worlds and going back and forth between them. I was like, that looks so cool, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
bought it. I put about 4 hours into it, and that's just on PC. I played a little bit more of it with Ham on Xbox, but I put that time into it, and I'm just like, God, this is bad.
I wish I
This
could get
just
a
doesn't
refund.
feel. Yeah, I wish I could get a refund, but you're past the window of the refund because you were determined to try to make it work for you. And it didn't work. And it's like there's 30 bucks down the drain.
Go on. So now imagine three
Yeah.
times that.
It'd be devastating.
Fuzzy Tomato says, I bet all of you will buy GTA 6 for $100. Fuzzy,
I will.
Fuzzy, and this is another thing that we were discussing here. GTA is like the lone exception, literally the lone exception. There's no other game. Well, maybe
I'd say
Elden Ring.
Elder I would say Elder Scrolls 6 probably could do it to me. And I'd probably
You
buy
think
it.
Elder Scrolls people would buy $100?
Yes. Absolutely they would. Just off the
All right,
name of the Elder Scrolls.
all right.
I want you to read this, Loke, and get triggered. And I'm also gonna hop in there and say something about it. But I already know you're
What
gonna
is
want to
it?
say something.
Ty says it's crazy. Resident Evil 2 comes out decades ago and cost $60. Resident Evil 8 comes out with a bigger budget and graphics, and gamers expect it to be the same price. Like the entitlement is real. So
That's not
Ty,
entitlement. They've all right, yeah, continue.
all right. So the first thing that we're discounting here, right? We are assuming the market is static, right? We're assuming that it takes the same, like you're talking about a bigger budget. First off, that's not my problem, right? This is a street. People sell biscuits. Everyone on the street sells biscuits at $2 a pop. You decided to put in extra milk, extra flour, all these extras, and now you want to charge me $4. I'm not going to buy it. And if you charge me $2 and you take a loss, again, not my problem. Because when you were in the kitchen putting in all the extras, you didn't consult me. Okay? You just decided this is going to be better value, so let's do it. So the bigger budget thing, dude, there's people making games way less money that look perfectly fine. And it's a choice that they make. It's not my problem. All right, it's not. Second,
Yeah.
graphics. With the graphics, obviously the assumption that we are making, because I'm not a game developer, but the assumption that I'm making is the amount of effort that it took to make the graphics for Resident Evil 2 back in the day is more or less the same amount of effort that's being used now. The only thing that's different is the tools. Some people will even argue it's easier to make games now
Oh
if you
yeah,
if you start incorporating.
The Don KTR always says, "Hey man, back when they were making the original Gears of War, it was crazy how much the like computer tried to fight you compared to now, where certain things are set in place to just
Yeah.
work."
And then when we start factoring in artificial intelligence, bro, no, I'm not feeling it at all. That's why all of these websites, some of them used to charge us to read their articles. Guess what they're doing now? They're not charging us anymore because the cost has come way down to get the exact same result. Now they don't even most of the time their sales don't even come from physical copies, but the price is still the same. even though you're just buying a key. They're not spending money on warehousing, transport, and all these other extras. But I'm still paying the same amount of money when you're delivering me more or less from what you were doing before. So again, this is not a end customer problem. It's like these companies like Shell, BP, and all these other these fuel companies. Everyone has their own idea of how to get the fuel to the pump and sell it to you. But that whole process is not my problem. What I know is each liter of gas costs me, for example, $10. That's the market, the more or less the price in the market. It's not my problem if you did your logistics wrong, and for you to make a profit, you have to sell it at $15 a liter. That's on you. It's not on me. Go ahead. Clearly, you're interested in this comment, Ham. Go ahead.
No, I want to hear what Matt had to say because he was
Ooh,
going
ooh.
and then he just like pulled the e-brake.
Also,
Well,
Poison Maniac. Also, Poison Maniac points out here, POE 1 and 2 is free. This is why I have no problem with all these big AAA studios shuttering down and failing. I don't care. I don't. I'm fine. Do you know why? Do you know why? Because you're not in it for the games. You're not. So if you fail and leave, guess what's going to happen? We shall be fine. You can shutter all of the AAA, all of them. I'm not like no exceptions. You can shutter all of the AAA studios tomorrow. Gaming will be fine. We're still gonna get deep cinematic and lore filled games. We're still gonna get multiplayer games that are awesome. We're still going to get the service
It's
because the
because there's a
demand is
market for
there.
it. No matter what,
So
there's a
I
market.
don't care. Sorry, Matt. Go ahead.
no, you're fine.
Put the comment back up, Am. Please put
So
it back up.
So to the whole thing about entitlement, it's like that. To me, that's not entitlement. To me, that's the industry that we're talking about, conditioning you that $60 is the norm. Because remember, it used to be $50 during like the PS2 and original Xbox, and then we went up to 60 during the 360, and then from the 360 on, I mean, until this generation, it's been $60. That's just kind of what the industry has, for well, I guess lack of a better word, groomed us to be used to.
Hey Matt,
What's up?
you remember why they lowered the price, right? Because delivering you the product wasn't as expensive.
Hmm. Yeah.
Because we
So
went from cartridge to disc, and disc was a lot cheaper. That's why PlayStation
yeah,
was able to sell their games a lot cheaper than Nintendo, but the consoles were different in price because one had more tech inside the console, but then again, the other one used a lot more, copper and all this other stuff just to be able to use.
yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. Like that's also a factor in all this. Is like different things cost different amounts of money. Like those cartridges, like Ham said. So to me, this isn't entitlement. It's just like the industry has gotten us used to the $60 thing, and now this generation are getting us used to the $70 thing, and then all of a sudden you get this asshole coming out of nowhere who's like, "Hey guys, you know how much we love $70 games, right? How about you fucking pay 100? How about you just swallow that pill right now?"
Damn.
Instead of riding the $70 wave for a generation or two, how about by the end of this generation we just skipped right to 100? That's like being upset about that isn't entitlement. That's just being a human being. And you could apply this, like I know you're saying gamers are entitled. You could apply this to any form of entertainment or any hobby where like suddenly they say the price of this thing arbitrarily is going to jump. Why? Why is it going to jump? Is it going to be better than the thing that I got already? Or is
No.
it just jumping for the sake of jumping? And
It's
to
so we
me,
can make
being
more
upset.
money.
Well, exactly. And that's the thing. And my whole point is I'm not mad at the business for being like, yo, we want to make more money. I expect it because it's a business. But like this idea that if you're upset about that or if you have any sort of pushback on that, you're entitled. You're not entitled, dude. You're a human being with a budget and money and real life problems. And you just want to enjoy the thing that you've enjoyed your whole life. And all of a sudden, like I said, this jerk off comes out of nowhere and he's like, "Yeah, we're going to bump it up to 100 guys. Great opportunity here." Nobody wants to hear that. And if you're pretending that you do want to hear that, I'm going to be real, you're kind of dumb.
No. Imagine somebody, the housing market goes up and you're in the market to buy a house. And then the house that you were looking at that was $300,000 is now worth $425,000. Do you think you as the purchaser are like, let's fucking go?
Dude, I can literally relate to that. Because we moved last year, and I remember like years ago, like when the company that bought the land that we lived on before announced that they bought the land, we started immediately looking for houses, right? And I remember a couple years later going back and looking at those same houses, and the price went up a lot. And it's like, why? Like that's not good. That doesn't make me happy. Trying to find a fucking house. It doesn't make me happy that the price of every house has just gone up arbitrarily.
But it makes the
It's
real
not.
estate industry more viable, guys. This is good for the
Yeah,
industry,
I should
guys.
be excited. I should be excited that I'm getting ripped off. No, dude. I just like. I don't understand that logic. I just don't understand. That's not entitlement. That's just being a human.
All right, Fuzzy, you need to hold this L, Fuzzy. I know you added the lol at the end, but everyone point at Fuzzy and laugh right now. Fuzzy paid 100 buckaroos
There you
for
go.
Suicide Squad.
I'm
God
I I paid
damn.
70 for Tiny Tina's.
Yeah, no,
Ooh.
I paid $100
I
for
I
Tiny
also paid
Tina's.
70. I also
I
paid
paid
70 for
Oh,
100.
Tiny
okay.
Tina.
Well,
I
there you
paid
go.
$100
Ham
for
matched you.
Tiny Tina, and I despise that game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yep.
X-Men
I,
would pay
I I also
$100.
paid. I also paid like almost $70 after tax for The Witcher 3 on Switch.
I paid full price for Witcher 3 on
Yeah,
Switch.
yeah. You guys laugh it
Terrible.
up. You deserve. You
Big
deserve to laugh it
mistakes.
up. I deserve to be laughed at for that one because that's kind of like
Hmm.
my own kind of thing. But I'm just saying, like, just keep that kind of stuff in mind when you're looking at value versus what you're getting. And if you let somebody tell you how much more valuable something is before you even get to realize it yourself, then I don't know, man. There's a reason that they allow people to test drive cars because they are like, yo,
Hmm.
if I'm spending 50K, ain't no way I'm gonna find out something wild right after it. So, like, if you're gonna do that with video games being $100, well, you better give me a demo or something to show me why.
Yep. And I feel like I've been ranting at this point, but one more thing. To Ham's point there, this is a situation where if we're really moving in that direction, this is where the whole like gamers ask, some gamers, not all gamers, ask for transparency within the studio. If this is where we're moving, I want to see like regular updates on your game, work in progress shit. Like I know like it's like, oh, but we don't want to show you that stuff, dude. If you're gonna charge me $100 at launch for a game, you should start getting comfortable with showing that stuff. Like give people a reason why, or give people a reason to be excited and not just petrified at the idea of having to drop $100 on a game they may or may not like. Give people a reason. Be more transparent. And I bet you, here's what I bet you. A lot of studios will not do that. Most studios will not do that.
Mm.
No, it's going to
Maybe.
be one of those things where there are going to be people that are willing to do that, and then it's gonna probably eventually happen, right? It's probably going to eventually happen, right? We're looking at a thing where some people are like Taye, right? They championing that thing, and then people, within the business are like, hey, there are some people that back this, and they'll switch the way other people perceive this, so they'll find value into this as well. And and that's how you got $70 games being okay and stuff like that. Even though there are 40, 50, and $60 games that are running amok all over those games. And they're a lot, and they seemingly feel more valuable than those $70 games. I mean, look at Ubisoft's quadruple A game, right? That's falling. That's doing really well, right? But anyways, I got to get going actually because I got to go pick up my wife from work. But I just wanted to kind of leave it here like this, like, bro, I don't like the idea of this whatsoever. Charging more without having any idea whether something's worth more. Like I said, you give me a test drive, then you give me more opportunity to think about it and see if it's worth it. And you give me the opportunity to look behind the curtain. But the way that gaming is now, it's almost like driving off the dealership with multiple issues with your car already. And knowing it, because these things are reviewed and said, hey, this is an issue, and you're still expecting people to come out and buy this stuff. So to ask us to pay that much for something that's untested is a little wild. But I'm sorry, you guys. I gotta go pick up my wife. I gotta go do the family thing. So it was a good show. I'll see those of you guys that are here right now tomorrow. I got tomorrow is Thursday. Oh, nice. I got a guest coming on tomorrow for the show. He's going to be coming on about a half hour after I start the show. Game dev Micah is going to be coming back through to talk about some more Unreal Engine and what he's been up to and some of his plans and stuff like that for 2025. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to look forward to that. But yeah,
all right.
Talk to y'all later.
Type shit. Let's see a couple more of these comments. I'm curious to engage. JB1521 said gamers would be outraged on the other side if games never evolved. Matt, thoughts?
But the thing is that games do evolve. Games have been evolving forever. Like that whole period between the 360 and the first $70 game, games evolved a lot in that period, like a whole lot. But have games evolved since the start of this generation? What's up?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. But have games evolved since the start of this generation, since the first $70 game? Have they evolved enough to warrant, hey, now it's $100? And if your answer to that is yes, then you're lying. So, like, I get what he's trying to say there. Like, with innovation comes higher costs. Higher costs means some of that gets passed on to the consumer. And I totally get that. And that's why I prefaced everything I said before I said anything about this with the fact that I understand why this guy's saying what he's saying. I don't think it's outrageous that he's saying that he holds those thoughts. I don't think that's outrageous. It's just he's saying it to the wrong people. Like, eventually, yeah, games are going to cost more money. It's going to go up eventually. Whether that's to 100 right away or it's to 80, it's going to go up. But this guy coming on to GameSpot with that article, it's just kind of dumb. It's tone deaf. Nobody wants to hear it on GameSpot. That's some Forbes type shit. Like leave it
Yeah.
over there or something. Not here.
Yeah. I would agree with you on the whole evolution of games. They've been evolving forever. It is what it is.
Yes.
Poison Maniac says, "How many jobs is $100 games going to save?"
That's dude. Oh man.
This brings me to the part that I hate. Whenever people talk about like money in games and whatever, this is what really chafes my tits. Most of the money in gaming, in terms of profits, it seems to go to 4 or 5 people in CEO seats.
Yeah.
And when we're talking about like AAA successes,
Mm-hmm.
that's what it seems like. That's where it goes.
Yep.
And based off of that, I'm just going to reiterate what I said before. I don't care. I don't care that you're struggling. Because when you make this bank from me, what are you going to do? You're not like From Software that's here increasing people's minimum wages, increasing people's salaries.
Mm-hmm.
You're not actually a place that's going to benefit the people working there. You're going to offload, right? Because these are the stories that we hear. It's not even like conspiracy theories or whatever. This is literally what the devs have shared. You're going to offload as many stuff as you can as soon as you publish the game, and then you're going to rake in as much money as possible. And then the people that made the magic on the screen do not benefit. Besides just the salary that they receive during the 2 or 3 years of development, and that's it. But
Mm-hmm.
all of the extra juice, all of the extra whatever, all of the accolades, all of that, it's going to C-suite execs. But the
Yeah.
artists, the programmers, the people that make the magic happen, they get the short end of the stick. Now you want me to pay more while knowing that most of what I'm paying for is just so you can buy more yachts.
Yeah.
So you can more easily afford an island, like,
Mm-hmm.
to do your freak offs and all this other stuff. I have no sympathy. I'm sorry. I have no sympathy. Go ahead,
Oh,
man.
that's fair. That's fair, man. I like to answer Poison Maniac's question, and I think he's kind of just being like he's kind of agreeing with us. Honestly, he's just raising that hypothetical
Yeah,
of
yeah,
like,
yeah,
well,
yeah.
how many jobs is that going to save? Realistically, probably none. I
None.
mean,
None.
here's the thing. It might save one. It might save the job of the head person at the studio, like that
Yeah, the
Strauss Zelnick
director.
guy over at Take
Mm-hmm.
Two. If they
Yeah.
sell GTA for $100 a pop, his job will probably be safe. I'm sure his job will
Yes.
be just fine. But like everybody else, it doesn't really help anybody else. The thing, like, and I know we've talked about this on the show before, like the whole there's firings all the time, and I know your stance on it. Um, it's just like, dude, the only thing that's gonna help that really is is like reworking what people's priorities in the industry are.
Unions.
Like
Unions.
that
Because
also
companies
that
will never
also
do it. Companies
exactly
never
that
do it
also
out of the
might help.
kindness of their own heart. It needs to be unions grabbing them by the short and curlies. It's the only way.
Sure. But like I'm just talking about like adjusting your priorities in terms of like these game developers and game publishers will say. Um like I mean the recent or like a good example I'm trying to think of. Well, I think the most recent one would be Concord. But like there's plenty of games in that vein that are like, yo, we need a game that is like X, Y, and Z because X, Y, and Z generates this amount of money. And we need something that generates that amount of money. When in
Yeah.
reality, you can't make a game like X, Y, and Z. Not because you're not able to make a good game. Tons of people can make a good game. Like, dude, Titanfall 2, one of the best games ever. When are we getting a Titanfall 3? Fuck,
Probably never.
Never.
As soon as you get a Half-Life 3.
Exactly. Like, well, there you go. But like, it's like you can make an amazing game, but for a lot of these executives, these up top people at these companies, like making an amazing game doesn't. They'd much rather make a pretty mid game that can generate tons of money off of microtransactions. They'd be much happier doing that. And the thing is that's the only way you can save, quote unquote, save jobs in the industry is by shifting that, because you get companies perpetually chasing dethroning Fortnite, dethroning Apex, dethroning Warzone. You literally cannot do that, because no matter how good your game is, your game would have to be multitudes better than Warzone to get people who are playing Warzone every day to stop playing it and play your game. And until that happens, which it hasn't to this point, you know, you're going to keep getting these companies who are trying to do it, dying, losing jobs, shutting down studios. Until that happens, you're just going to keep getting this. And every now and then, I think the video game industry is catching on to it, and then another one happens, and I'm like, oh well, no, they're not. They haven't caught on to it yet, I guess. Eventually, maybe they will, but it's Jesus, man. How long is that going to take? I don't know, but $100 game isn't going to save them from that fate. If anything, it might hurt more people's jobs outside of, you know, the 1%.
Because we're also forgetting that now, if they insist on $100 games, that could lead us to a situation where you have more and more gamers being like, oh, $100 a game, okay, so I can't just spend money. So I'm gonna be very careful with what I buy. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because right now there's a lot of people that just buy games because it's like, let me give it a go or whatever. You know, if games are 100, 150, that's now a situation where gamers are like, all right, so right now as it is, and I'll use my example, like Avowed's coming out, right? Let's pretend Avowed is not on Game Pass. Let's pretend it's not on Game Pass. Avowed is about to come out, but right now I'm currently playing through Starfield, Cyberpunk, WRC, Fate, Sword Art Online, as well as Football Manager. You are now opening the door for gamers to be like, I don't really need to buy this game. Because now we're taking the purchase more seriously. Because right now there's a lot of people that buy games without having the time and just being like, I'll play it when I play it, you know? Now,
that's me.
if you're charging that much, now people will be like, all right, bro. Like So X-Men says here at the comment, with the inflation going the way it's going in the world, $100 will be a bad idea for games. Now people will be like, all right, instead of buying, I don't know, 20 games a year, 30 games a year, suddenly gamers will start buying 10 a year, 6 a year. Then what?
Yeah.
You've cut your nose to spite your face. Go ahead.
It's not good. Think about one of the things that you talk about, and I agree with you a lot, is one of the biggest perks of gaming on PC is the fact that I can get on gg.deals, type in a game, odds are good I can get that game well below the retail price. Dude, if GTA starts a precedent of like games are now just $100, think of going on gg.deals and looking for Space Marine 3, and it's now, instead of paying like $45 at launch, which is amazing,
it's $80.
And now you're paying like $75-$80. Like, again, you're still getting technically a deal on it, but it's like that's how big of a shift that would be. It's not good.
A lot of
And then
us are gonna stop. Forget what?
I was gonna say, and then forget paying full price on like a console or something, going from $70 to $100. It's just terrible, dude.
No,
It's just
the
not
consoles
good.
are going up. If the PS5 Pro has told us anything, is that the next console is going to be way more than $500.
I think Paris was on. It was this show, right? A couple weeks ago,
Yeah.
right? I think Paris is right when he said I think 600 is probably the sweet point, this sweet spot where like if you're going to come out with a pro console like Sony did this generation, then I think the $700 thing. I mean, I don't agree with it. I probably wouldn't buy it, but I think that's something that most people can swallow is a pro version of the already existing console, $100 more. But I think if we see next gen launch and they're talking $700 out of the gate,
Yeah.
then that's not something I don't like. I think you get a lot of backlash for that, and I think just like this generation, you see the adoption rates of consoles. Even though PlayStation 5, by all means, is selling really well. Xbox, they're not having the best generation in terms of sales. They're having a pretty bad gen, but like you look at the adoption rate for consoles, a lot of people are just like, yo, I'd rather stay on my PS4 or my Xbox One because all I play is like Fortnite or Warzone. So like I don't need a new console. And if you come out next gen with a $700 console, they're like, shit, I really don't need a new console then. Like make it you gotta price it at least somewhat reasonable. And I think 600's a little bit pricey, but it's at least kind of tolerable to people who really want a new console. But $700 would just be that'd be like a nail in a coffin type thing to me.
I agree with Ty here who said Game Pass went up to $20 and people crying saying Xbox is bad and trying to leech from customers. Imagine getting 100 plus games including day ones and moaning they need to reduce the price. So finally,
I didn't
right?
see that.
I did. I saw a lot of people bitching about the price increase, and I have been consistent about this ever since Game Pass launched, especially after they said that it's going to be like day one for exclusives or for first party. In my opinion, Game Pass is worth whatever the price of a game is a month. So if the new price right now is $60 for a AAA game, Game Pass is worth 60. Oh, sorry, if it's $70, in my opinion, Game Pass is worth $70 a month.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
All right.
I've always felt that way because you can literally find if that's the only console that you're playing, especially if it's the only console that you're playing, you can literally find your $60 game every single week on Game Pass, or $70 game right there, and you only pay the $20. So for me, it's worth it. So even if they charge me $70 a month, it's still a deal because you get not only the $70 game that you like, but everything else, which is more $70 games. So I'm removing like emotions. I'm talking just pure math. Even if you're paying $70 a month and you're only playing on Xbox, you're still coming out winning, in my opinion.
Tell you what, I'm glad Satya Nadella doesn't listen to this show. I'm very excited that Phil Spencer will never hear this. So I get what you're saying, like mathematically, sure. In terms of paying $70 a month for any subscription at all, like of anything. Absolutely not. I like at that point, I'd probably just start buying things flat out. If it's like if it's $70 to play, like I'd be like making calls like, okay, I'm not gonna be like, how much do I really want to play? Trying to think of a game from Xbox, because I gotta be real, all the games this year I'm really looking forward to playing. Uh I'm trying to think of an example, man. Like, what's a game that Xbox will come out with that's not like a big hitter, but it's somewhere in the middle for a lot of people?
I don't know.
It's tough, man.
All
Like,
right, let's check. Let's
yeah.
check real quick. Xbox games in 2025. Let's see.
Because
Let's see what's coming out.
yeah,
So Gears of War,
that's day
Fable,
one. Day one.
South of Midnight.
Day one.
I think that's a good example. Wait, you're also excited for South of Midnight?
I've been excited for South of Midnight. I told you I love compulsion games. I think they're really underrated.
All right, hold on.
It's hard. It's actually difficult to think of. I was ready to make this point, and now
Alright.
I can't really make the point because it's hard to find one.
Expedition 33.
Okay, so without Game Pass, Expedition 33
Yeah.
got. Here's the thing: I might buy it because I don't think that's going to be $70. I think they're going to price that appropriately. I mean, well,
What was the point you were trying to make then?
my point was going to be like
Great.
a smaller game or whatever. I'd be making calls like, okay, I'm not going to play that day one. I don't need to play that day one. I'll wait for a sale. But like, you know, if Xbox is going to be offering what they're offering, then like, you know, I can see myself going up. I'm not even going to say that because I don't even want to put that out there. I'm happy where we're at. I'll say that. I'm very happy where we're at right now with the $20 a month. I don't want to give anybody any sort of ideas about what I'd be willing to accept.
Yeah, for me, I take the emotion out, and if you look at it objectively, the deal that's being offered, yeah, it's not a bad deal. It's not a bad deal.
The deal that's being offered is unreal. It's basically stealing.
It feels like it. It really does. Ty, welcome in. How you doing? And what have you been playing?
Oh, it's Ty. Nice.
A day at a time. I do like one mission per day, and then I just like drop it. It's such a
We have
weird way to
lives.
play.
We have lives.
This is very true. Like, I mean, I do one mission, I kick someone's ass, and like literally as soon as it's like, okay, next day, I'm just gone. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'll turn it off and I'll do it the next day. So I'm playing it in a very realistic way, put it that way.
Mm.
I need to still need to be metaphor.
So
You still haven't. Matt, go ahead.
What's that?
You
You
said
said
you
something?
still haven't beat it.
No, I still need to beat metaphor, and I don't know when that's going to happen because I got to beat Stalker. And
You don't know when
gotta
that's going to
beat-
happen.
I got to finish Detroit, and then it's Stalker, and then I'll tell you what, by the time I'm done with Stalker, there's no way there's going to be enough time between that and Avowed for me to beat Metaphor. It's just there's not going to be enough time. So Metaphor might have to wait till like around the Xbox showcase or something. And that's if they don't release Doom the Dark Ages or something.
There's a lot of stuff coming out this year.
It's a lot.
Yeah. Are you going to get Monster Hunter?
No, I've never been into Monster Hunter. What I am probably going to get, though, from February, besides Avowed, is I'm looking at Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and then I'm really interested in the Pirate Yakuza game.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good show. I'll be probably playing Assassin's Creed, so I'll just won't be
I
playing.
can't wait for Assassin's
Hey,
Creed.
Yeah,
I
I'm
cannot wait
really
for
looking
that.
forward to that game. So yeah,
that's going to piss off a lot of people. Like just sharing the screenshots
Good.
might get you blocked.
yeah. Listen, if
I'm
Ubisoft
so
gets the marketing right, I think the game is going to do. I always thought the game was going to do well enough for Ubisoft given the circumstances. Probably not, but at least it gives them enough power to negotiate with Tencent.
yeah.
Hmm.
I, yeah. I no. I'm not gonna say that. Yeah, I agree though.
Hmm.
All right. Ty, we're having a discussion here, and the angle I'm very curious about, the angle that I really want you to chew into and explain to us is the entitlement thing. Like, tell us, because I saw you going back and forth with Dorian Gray, but at some point you gave up trying to explain why gamers are entitled. Please, the stage is yours.
Yeah, so when it comes to the entitlement comment, it really has to do with the fact that and listen, consumers can act like consumers, but you guys were saying things like, I don't want to see this, I don't want to hear this. And my response directly to that was no, because we on this channel and people on in the comment section are analysts in a way. We all analyze the information. When Xbox says we're gonna buy these companies, you don't give it a gaming take per se. You give it a business take. No, they're buying this company because it's gonna help their business. It's gonna grow Game Pass. It's gonna help them with their live service approach. They bought Mojang not because Loke wanted it. You can say right now they bought Mojang because they needed a foundation that was gonna give them incurring residual revenue on a regular basis. So we make all these analysis on these companies. We analyze Sony, we analyze Nintendo. We literally said, how much do you expect Call of Duty to grow Game Pass? That's not a gaming take. That's a business take. So when Nintendo comes forward and says Switch is going to be 700, you're going to give a business take, which is like, no, that doesn't make sense for that price. X, Y, Z, blah blah blah. I could get a Steam Deck for this price instead. Like it's all business analysis. So this right here, what this article is saying is, I'm giving you a business analysis because right now what we've been hearing for the last couple of years is the industry is not in a great position. That's why we had 20k jobs being lost. So how do we fix that? Well, everyone is saying the exact same thing. Phil saying the same thing, Sony saying the same thing, and we know they're not lying because in the leaks, it's literally them saying, yo, we're in trouble. Things ain't happening, things ain't growing. So if they were just telling you, that you could question that, but when they're telling themselves, then that's when you know that it's actually serious, right? And everyone's talking about, oh, Larian made this game and he did so well. Even they said, yo, we think our game should probably cost more because what we're putting into the game is a lot. And I think that the point that you said, Luke, is that the game industry has grown. Okay, that is true, but how many of these companies are availing of that growth? That's like saying the music industry has grown since 20 years or so. However, that doesn't mean that rapper down the street or singer down the street can access that revenue. So not all these companies can access that revenue. And the problem is, as soon as your game fails, if Resident Evil 2 fails in 1994, Capcom is still alive. They can go again. But if Resident Evil 7 fails, they're literally screwed because that's 200 million down the drain. This is
Capcom's
why Concord. Sorry,
Capcom's not shutting down though.
Yeah, they're not shutting down because they have multiple studios. But the reason why, listen, the studio that made Concord, if they made the 1999 or 2005 version of Concord, they don't shut down straight away. They probably still have a chance, convince a few investors because you only invested 20 million or so. It's not a big deal. But as soon as you start investing 200, you're dead. It's the same reason why Redfall got closed. Sorry, not Redfall. Arcane got closed off. Okay. It wasn't because they were bad. It's because we invested 150 million in your game and it flopped. So there's consequences to these actions. So what these guys go ahead.
So again, no one asked Fireworks Studio to spend 200 million on Concord. And when I say no one, I'm saying you didn't. I didn't. Matt didn't. They made a calculated decision. They miscalculated. They paid the price for it. And all I'm saying, and I'm guessing Matt's saying the same thing, is that this is a miscalculation and it's going to lead to even more losses. That's what we are saying. Because we when we make these analysis, we also take in our own points of view.
Mhm.
The way I see it is what I just predicted before you hopped on. What I predict is that there's going to be, if they do this and then the whole industry decides to adopt this new direction, there's going to be a lot more consumer spending sensitivity. So where people can easier spend like $50, $60 to try something, to give it a chance. When it's $100, you're going to have a lot more people that are like Cozy Beluga. You're gonna have a lot more people that are like, I know what I like. I don't know if I like that. So what I'm going to do is not spend money on that. And a lot of the industry is made of people spending money on stuff they're not really sure about, but they have this, they feel this space, or it's cheap enough to give it a go. If you make it cost prohibitive, it's why no one has 12 cars. It's why most people don't have 10 houses. It's because as soon as the price starts going up for certain things, people get way more like calculating about how they invest in that. And I don't believe it's going to lead to more profits increasing the price to $100. I think there's going to be a lot of people that are just going to be like, you know what, I'll just buy my Madden and that's it. I'm not going to take risks. When Kojima comes out with the game, yeah, I'll buy that. Everything else, you know what? GG dot deals, like Matt said.
Yeah.
Are we crazy?
Sorry.
Matt, you want to say something?
Go ahead, Matt.
No, I was going to say, so to your point about, I know you kind of explained where you're coming from with the comments on entitlement and everything. And so my whole, like I said, my whole overarching point wasn't that I can't believe that this conversation is happening. I fully expect this conversation is happening behind every closed door that involves a CEO at a game studio, at a game publisher. This has to be happening all the time. So like when the time comes that we are paying $100 for games, it's not really going to be that big of a surprise to me. But I'm just saying this guy is off. This guy's off, and like he's miscalculated the base of people who are using GameSpot for just, I want to see some gaming news about the things I like. And then they log on to GameSpot, and then they got this douche being like, hey, you know how you're paying $70 a game? You should be paying more. Nobody wants to see that. Like even a person who probably understands the industry way more than I ever could, someone who's been a part of the industry, somebody who's been a part of making games or publishing games, probably understands that most consumers, most gamers, don't want to hear about how they need to charge more. That doesn't mean it's going to stop them from doing it, because they absolutely will do it, but they understand you don't want to hear that. And you not wanting to hear that isn't being entitled. It's just being like a normal person. I don't want to be told that all of a sudden you're being charged more money just because. Just because. I don't think the quality of games has gone up over last generation. Now, some games it has. There's some games that have been amazing this generation. But I don't think overall the quality of games has gone up. But
You know what
yet we're paying more.
Like to that point, yeah, like I've given this example to a few guys I know, right? And I say, Spider-Man 2 cost $300 million, and I'll tell them every time, where should they have cut cost exactly? Should they have
by decreasing the time of that game?
Okay,
that game shouldn't have been as long as it was.
Okay, fair enough. The reason why it probably costs, I mean, obviously the game costs so much to make is obviously because it's in the United States, California, wherever, and all that kind of stuff. And they had motion capture,
licensing. The big cost that it came out in the Actibliz thing was licensing.
License, I think that you get I think that they take a lot from your profits, but the game costs like 300, right? And when I played that game, obviously I looked at some of the breakdown for the cost, and there was things like animation, motion capture, voice acting to make sure it's good, and they didn't use AI for any of these things, but they wanted to get New York or wherever Spider-Man is to get like the authentic feel. So they're trying to be innovative and creative, right? I mean, people say they should cut down. They can't really tell me where they should cut down yet, but then in the end I say, okay, basically what you're saying is because Miles Morales costs like 100 and something million. So what you're actually telling me is all Sony had to do was make Miles Morales, replace replace Miles with Peter, and call Miles Morales Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2. Would you guys have been happy? And the answer is no. They would have said, this is crap. This is not worth the price.
Continue.
No, would they have been happy?
I would have been thrilled. I love Miles Morales.
No, but if you bought Spider-Man 1 and Miles Morales was the direct sequel, you would have been happy with that as a sequel.
With Miles Morales as a sequel? Like, are you saying, okay, let me understand. Are you saying swap Miles Morales to Spider-Man 2? Like, swap out Miles Morales, put in Peter Parker?
The game is in the game.
Yeah, the game. Yeah, so swap Miles and then have Peter Parker there.
Remember that game that came out? We're talking about it. It's a DLC or whatever. Remember?
Okay, so you're saying Spider-Man 2 would be the size and length of Miles Morales?
Yeah, if people want cost to go down to the level that they think it should be, that's Miles Morales. So my point is,
I would be happy with that. I don't think a game like Spider-Man needs to be 20 plus hours. I think it's kind of goofy that it is.
It was padded out.
Yes, I would be thrilled with that.
Dude, Space Marine's a good example. And if I'm not mistaken, if my memory doesn't fail me, the devs at Saber actually spoke about that, about keeping scope and cost down to make it profitable, to the point where as soon as they sold 2 million copies, they were in the clear.
Mm-hmm. And here's the great thing, Ty. You can still have these big, grandiose games. You could still,
just like Space Marine 2.
You could, yeah. Well, that's true as well. Like, you can still have, like, if Neil Druckmann's like, I want to do Last of Us Part 3 and it's gonna be 50 hours long, he can still do that. He can totally still do that because the industry as a whole, in this hypothetical that I guess I'm creating, he could still do that because the industry as a whole isn't crapping out a 50-hour game that, comes out and scores, I don't know, 75 on Metacritic. People play it for like a half a month and then they move on. Like a big 50-hour game, like a big massive AAA production should be a moment. It should stand out. It shouldn't be like every game doesn't need to be 20 hours. Like, I thought, like, I know Loke didn't like it, but I enjoyed Spider-Man 2. But at a certain point, I'm like, yo, this doesn't need to be this long. Especially after playing them out. Yeah, I did enjoy it. I really love Spider-Man 2. But like, and I say the same thing about God of War Ragnarok. There was like a 5-hour period towards about, I'd guess, if I had to guess, about 75% of the way through the game, where I'm like, yo, this needs to end. This really needs to end. Now, granted, after that period, the story really like picked up again and things started happening and the ending was really good. But like, if I'm playing your game, your $70 game, and there's like hours worth of time in between me playing where I'm like, yo, this is not good. This should be over by now. If that's my thought, then I feel like you've done, at least for me, you've done something wrong. and that can be subjective for everybody. But like, dude, I like you see people online, they're totally fine with a game being shorter. Like, and Loke said Space Marine 2, you can make a game like Space Marine 2 and have these big, awesome, crazy, epic moments, but the game's only like 12 hours long. And that's
polished.
fine.
It's
It's polished.
It's
It
got
works.
lots of content, tons
And
of
that's
content.
exactly.
It's
That's the
not
other
even
thing
like
with
you have
Space
to
Marine
bring
2.
it all the way down and then you only get the 12 hours and that's the end of it. No,
Exactly. Dude,
you
they're
can
doing
only
updates.
play that thing for a year, and you're still seeing new stuff.
Yes. They're doing updates all the time for Space Marine 2. And I'm pretty sure they released a roadmap for content for Space Marine 2. You look at a game like Helldivers, $40. You can play that game forever because they always add new content. And I know that's a live service versus we're talking more single player stuff at the moment. But I don't think it would be a bad future if they said, hey, we're going to still make these epic games, but instead of being like 20, 30, 40 hours, we'll make it 10 to 15. I'd be perfectly happy with that. And then every now and then you get a game that's like 50 hours long, like a Red Dead 3 or GTA 6, and then it just blows your fucking mind.
But I would argue that in this hypothetical you've created, it's actually the reality. We have a lot of games that have 12 hours, 15 hours. You mentioned Space Marine.
And I agree.
Stellar Blade. The issue, I think, is because the industry is so big, there's a lot of big games. And
Yes.
when one fails, we can overanalyze that. Oh, look at this, it failed. Like we told you. But the truth is, along with that big game, there's probably like 10 of those games that came out that were smaller. Like Flintlock came out, right? Banishers came out. These are very short games that people didn't buy. But at the same time, people will look at Star Wars Outlaws and say, "Oh, we told you," on another big AAA game. But they just don't talk about the smaller games. So I think your hypothetical is actually true and correct. The reason why I think that the 100 mark or $80 mark isn't even that much of a big deal to me is because
you're rich and you just haven't told us.
Not even
you're a Nigerian
no.
prince. You just haven't told us.
And I freaking wish. But the reason why it's not that big of a deal is because first of all, as you mentioned yourself, GG Games or all these other places, there's so many places you can buy games for cheap. You can shop around. Apart from the console stores, you can go online and check out multiple different stores such as MCD Keys. And the video game industry does so many sales. No one says you have to buy Elden Ring day one or Baldur's Gate 3 day one. You can wait a month or 2 or 3 and then purchase it. I didn't play Witcher 3 when it first came out. I played it like maybe 2 or 3 months after, and I got it for a cheaper deal. So I think for the companies who are saying we are struggling and we need this to, offset our costs, so those whales will come in and then, give us that additional profit. I say, yeah, go for it. I'll just buy your game when it's $60 on sale. That just makes so much sense.
But that $60 sale is going to be very rare. Like, because think about how games are, like, during that holiday sale, during the Black Friday sale, we saw this, or not this year, last year. There were a lot of games, especially on Xbox and PlayStation, where it was like big Black Friday sale, and it's like this game used to be $70, now it's $50. If that's $100 and you're knocking off 20, it's still $80. That's still a lot for people. That's still not like, oh, I can just wait a month, 2 months, and then I'll grab it for $80. Okay, you saved $20.
But the truth is, gaming is a very expensive hobby. It's not like listening to music or
yeah,
whatever.
But I'm not advocating for it to be more expensive. I understand that, and I know, like I said, I acknowledge that it's going to get more expensive. That's just the nature of things. That's how things go. That's evolution. But I'm not going to advocate for it to be more expensive. I'm not going to sit back and say, please, I need you to make games $100, because I don't.
No, of course not. But it's like, for example, there's this this way of thinking that you have a couple of options, and this is like for the people who want to like dwell in reality. as opposed to like, no, I don't want to even engage. Game prices go up. That's your first option. Your second option is, well, we just make it into a live service game like we did with Suicide Squad. So that's option number 2. Option number 3, we do what Dragon's Dogma did, where we start putting in place all these stores. And I'll speak to like gamers and they'll say, I want neither. And I'm like, no. You have to pick one, because they're telling you that what they're doing is not sustainable. So they're telling you, if you want Dragon's Dogma 2, we have to do this. Pick what do you want? Dragon's Dogma live service game, Dragon's Dogma $80 cost, or do you want Dragon's Dogma with an online shop? And their response is, no, I don't want neither. I'm like, yeah, that's just stupidity, that's just entitlement. Like, that's my main gripe with these conversations, because something is happening, and either we can participate and try to like nudge the direction we want things to go in, or we can be completely oblivious and just say, nah, I refuse to engage. And then they'll make that decision for us. And the decision that they actually made initially was, okay, more live service games, which we don't want. I'm pretty sure we're all happy here with the Dragon's Dogma 2 formula, or the Assassin's Creed formula, where you still get your fully fledged game, and they give all these little, in-game shop items that aren't even really necessary for anyone to actually complete the game. And I'm happy with that. I'm happy with these whales buying these like items, as long as the developers are saying, okay, you know what, that's offsetting the cost a bit, so let's proceed.
Sure.
All right, so
And I
correction on
I
that one.
agree
You,
with that.
you said that Assassin's Creed has stuff that you don't really have to buy. I don't know about the new ones.
Actually, I'll be very honest with you. You don't have to buy nothing in Assassin's Creed. It's only for people who are really short on time and who just want to like clear things fast. For
Yeah.
example, in Assassin's Creed, it's such an easy game. Anyone who tells you like I needed to buy something in that game is lying. But like, listen, if Ubisoft wants to sell costumes, like in Assassin's Creed, yeah, go for it, bro. I don't care. I'm playing my version, and that's why I don't care, because at the end of the day, if Loke decides to go spend $200 on Assassin's Creed costumes to look sexy and cool, yeah, if that $200 is making sure Ubisoft keeps the game price at $60 for me, I'm perfectly fine. And I don't see people complaining about Diablo Immortal or live service, free to play games. What's the game called? Genshin Impact costs so much more on a yearly basis to maintain. But the reason why I can play that game for free is because these whales are doing it. Now, would I prefer if Genshin was like, actually, you know what? No live service, no microtransactions, $60 for the game. No, I don't want that. I prefer this model because this model actually suits me. Screw the whales. I'm good.
But in the
Yeah.
scenario where games are $100, we're all the whales. All of us are the whales in that scenario.
We all have
It's
to pay the price of whales.
that's my issue with it. Is like, I get what you're saying, and I totally agree. Like in the case of Dragon's Dogma, love Dragon's Dogma 2. Game's amazing. And if people want to go and buy things to make progress quicker, you mentioned Assassin's Creed as well, another great example of it. If people want to buy stuff to progress quicker, if people want to buy costumes for their horse or whatever, by all means, go ahead and do it. If that's going to support the company so that I can get another game later, I'm totally happy with that. And I agree with you in the case that, in the sense that most people would probably agree with that line of thinking. Like if they're presented with that option, or hey, everything is a live service now, then they would probably take that option. Also, talking about living in reality, we're kind of getting both of those. And not really kind of, we're fully getting both of those right now. Where like it's not a pick one situation. The industry is saying you don't get to pick, it's going to be all of it. It's going to be all of it. You're going to get a game that you can buy flat rate. You don't have to spend any money for, but you can spend money for. You're also going to get an obscene amount of live service games. Not only that, an obscene amount of live service games that are probably going to fail because we will give up on them if they don't succeed right away. That's what the industry's told us. Look at X Defiant. We mentioned Ubisoft. Look at X Defiant. You look at they've canceled a bunch of games in the Ghost Recon series. One of them being a battle royale, canceled. You're never going to see Ghost Recon probably again for a pretty long time at this point. So like we already are living in that reality. Yeah, we're living in that reality where it's like the hypothetical choice you proposed It's been chosen for us, and the answer, the choice, is all of the above. All of the above. That's what you're going to get, and you're going to like it. Because
Well, I
if you
think
don't, then you just move on. You don't play games anymore, and that's like the alternative thing
I
is
think
to
the
just
reason
move on.
why you're right that we have, I mean, like all options are on the table, right? But that's why when Capcom did the thing with not Capcom, yeah, Capcom with the game I just said, Dragon's
Dragon's
Dogma
Dogma.
2, and everyone was going crazy at them. I'm thinking, you people don't understand what you're doing. You're sending a signal out to them that they shouldn't do this, and then they're going to come out with a live service game instead, because that cost has to come from somewhere. They can't just listen to the gamers and say, okay,
I agree.
they don't want us to do this. So it's when people say things like, I don't want them to do this, that's the problem that I'm actually really having. But you're right, like all these things are happening. But when it comes to even the cost of the games, and listen, I'm not saying every game needs to be $80. I don't spend Flintlock to be $80. I don't spend, Banishers to be $80. So we're still going to get the AA games. In terms of the games going from like 100 to 70, Zelnick did say that when they started charging higher prices, gamers were a little bit more resilient with IPs that they didn't really know or trust. So he says like sales did fall short. However, the cost kind of made up for it. And I think my main thing here is if Larian says, hey, listen, we've made Baldur's Gate 3 and we want to do a lot more with this, create creative freedom, blah blah blah. We want to spend an extra $100 million, that's what we want to do to make this a unique experience for you guys. I'm like, yeah, go for it. Because why would I want a down, dumb version of what they envisioned? No, I want them to go full force for it. And the people who can afford it when it comes out, go for it. And the benefit here is it's almost like Star Citizen. It's almost like Star Citizen. I put nothing into that game. All these dudes put in thousands and thousands of thousands. These are the whales. Let them be the whales. When the game comes out and it's on sale, yeah, I'll buy it for 60. I'm good. And I think that's the main thing that's important. Let them take money from the people who are willing to pay this much for this great game or whatever it is, and then when it's cheap enough for everyone else, yeah, it will sell. And heck, it'll probably go on PlayStation Plus, boom, the sales go up. You go on Game Pass, boom, sales go up. Everyone gets to play in the end. I don't know.
I was a
There's
nihilist.
nothing wrong with that.
So
I thought I was a nihilist. Ty is showing me that he's the master.
Listen, this is all business talking right here.
Here's the
I thought I didn't care. I thought I didn't give a fuck.
I don't think what Ty is saying is insane. My whole pushback against the entitlement thing is that, sure, if Larian comes out and says we're putting so much more money into this game because we want to do so much more with this game than we did before, fair enough. And if their solution to that is to be like, yo, our game is 80, 90, $100 or whatever, fair enough. But my whole thing is I don't understand why anybody would be like, fuck yeah, that's awesome. I love spending more than I did. I don't like sure, people would buy the game, sure, people would support it, sure, people would have fun, sure, it would probably be rated very highly because Larian's a very talented studio. But I don't see why anybody would be like, fuck yeah, I love having to spend more than I did. I love it.
Maybe you're a Nigerian prince living in Ireland.
And if you're not excited about it or whatever, then you must be entitled is just not, that's not realistic at all for me. That's just, like I said before, that's literally just being human. And part of being human is sometimes things happen that you don't want to happen. But that doesn't mean you have to love it. That doesn't mean you have to be fully behind it.
No. You're right. Listen, I completely agree there. No one has to like these things. or if they should even love it in the first place. The reason why my angle is coming from just more of a business perspective, right? And I use Game Pass as another really good example. It was $15. That's a great deal. Game Pass Ultimate, you get XCloud, you get online, you get PC games and Xbox games. I thought it was great, yeah. And when Xbox said, "Hey, we're putting it to $20," the amount of people who were just like, so upset with it, and even people who were saying stuff like, "Oh, but what about the other gamers who are gonna join? Like, it's not fair on them." I'm thinking, bro, you're about to get like Indiana Jones, Fable, Call of Duty, all these games, Hellblade 2, like day one, including 33 Claire Obscura, like, so many third party games for $20, and you're saying no, you don't want this to happen. My business take was, if they don't do this, it probably is unsustainable. Then the whole service shuts down. So what do you prefer? The $20 increase or not? So I'm, from a business point of view, I'm saying, yeah, increase it to $20. So the people who actually can get value from Game Pass, who in their minds they're saying, yo, like with Game Pass, I'm saving hundreds a year, probably even 1,000. Yeah, let those guys enjoy it. And for the people who can't afford it, I mean, like, yeah, you just go back to normality. Go back and buy your games for $70. Go buy Indiana Jones for $70. Go buy Call of Duty for $70. No one really loses out per se. And if the games are too expensive, just put it on sale. So it's more of this idea of like some people refusing to face reality that I'm really pushing back against. This is happening, and because it's happening, we have to just accept that. I mean, I'm not saying be happy with it, but accept that something has to give. And I said this in the comment section earlier, that when Luke said, "Oh, all the AAA games can stop," I'm like, no, because the AAA games is what we're all actually really here for. The reason why 2023 was such a great year is because so many AAA games came out. The reason why the console sales haven't grown in 2024 and 2024 was a down year is because no amazing AAA games came out. That's literally what, like, I think Chris Ding just published.
2024 was fine.
Sorry?
I had a great time in 2024.
Yeah, I mean, it was good. But when
wow.
it comes to those AAA blockbuster games, it just wasn't there. And I don't think we none of us wants an industry without AAA blockbuster games, because we love the Hogwarts Legacies, we love the Elden Rings.
Like you said, Ty, something needs to happen, right? You think that what needs to happen is prices need to go up, right? As far as I'm concerned, the outcome that I want is for all of these AAAs to get insolvent, and then we get all the execs out, get all the investors out, get all the journalists that actually what they really want to do is work at Fox or CNN, right? Get them all out. Leave only the people that like to press the buttons, like genuinely that only would like to press the buttons, because there's millions of us, billions, in fact, there's billions of us. Leave just those people, and we'll make it fun again. It's not a problem.
No, because if you take away all these people, you don't get your Baldur's Gate 3. You don't get Elden Ring. You don't get. There's no AAA game you get whatsoever.
I'll tell you what, you get Baldur's Gate 3 without this douche writing this article. You definitely get Baldur's Gate 3.
No. But I mean, like, to Luke's point, if you take the investors out, I mean, you don't get Baldur's Gate 3. Like, Larian came from Divinity Original Sin 2, which is a very small game in comparison to, like, the AAA games, and they were allowed to develop this game for 7 years. What gamer is willing to give Larian not $60, because it doesn't take $60 to make this game, to give them, like, to be an investor and say, oh, Larian Studios, the guys who made the Divinity Originals in M2, a relatively small game, here's my life savings, or here's, like, $20K.
You don't understand, Ty. You don't understand. Remember Matrix? Mm-hmm. Do you remember the part where the machines, when Neo says that you can't survive without humans, and then the machine said there are levels of survival that we're willing to tolerate. As a gamer, Ty, I'm willing to go the next 10 years with just AA while we're rebuilding the industry with people that want to give us good value. I'm willing to
see,
give up the next 20 years. That's not a problem for me.
the reason why it wouldn't work is because somebody's always going to want more. There's gonna be a creator out there like a Kojima or a
Yeah.
Swen Vank who's gonna say, you know what, making a CRPG game in the same vein as Divinity Original Sin 2 or Pillars of Eternity is okay, but I actually want to make something amazing. I want to make the
Yeah.
next Star Wars, and he's gonna request 150 million, 200 million,
From
and
who?
they were back from someone.
That's what I'm saying. Get the investors that don't really care about gaming. Get the C-suite execs to go back to selling, I don't know, fucking oil. I don't know. Just get them to leave, right? So when you get these crazy ideas, what happens is you get stuff like what happened with Metal Gear Solid 1 or 2. You're going to be forced to scale down, but you're still going to get investment from people that actually care about what you're making. It happened in the comic book it's happening right now in the comic book industry. The Marvel and DC don't care about the art form of comic books anymore. It's about how much money they can make. That's all. What happened? They're falling apart. People, hold on. People are going to the what's it, the indie artists or whatever, and those guys are making millions. They're making combined. They're making the type of money that comics used to make in the 90s. What happened? The money didn't stop flowing in. People just didn't believe in soulless corporations. Last year was just the beginning. Last year was just the beginning. I hope 2025 is a continuation of people voting with their wallets. It shouldn't be just abandoning DEI games. It should be also abandoning bad games. We've been trimming the fat, and we're going to keep doing it. And gamers need to be ruthless, even if it means one of your favorite studios gets hit. Dude, BioWare is not even BioWare anymore. Get them all out. Get them all the fuck out. We made it great, and that's why they came here. We're going to make it great again.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean the disagreements is just hard on this one. Like there's just too many there's too many, like I don't want a regression. I don't want to go from playing Spider-Man 2 to PlayStation 1 Spider-Man or GameCube Spider-Man. I don't want to go from
You're
playing
being
Baldur's Gate
dramatic.
3.
You're being dramatic.
You just
still
said
available.
get rid of the investors. It's the investors that's giving you 150 million to make these games. If you have no investors, you don't have 100 million to make these games. So you're making games for like what, 30 million, 20 million instead.
Yeah.
That's my point. There's a huge regression that's going to happen.
In regression in what? In game mechanics or in graphics?
Graphics, game style. Like you're gonna go from playing Battlefield with like four players to like 20.
Only graphics. Only graphics, bro.
No, because it's also the RAM, right? It's things you can do. So like, let's say you can have like 50 enemies on screen. You can't do that no more. Now it's back to like 10. Like I played Divinity Original Sin 2. Like it's a good game, but that game was limited by, what Larian could do with the budget. As soon as you give them 150 million, you have voice acting, you have motion capture. There's so much more you could do with that game. As soon as you gave Sega more money with for Atlas, they could do so much more with the game. They made it into like a bit of an open world game. Dragon's Dogma 2 is far superior to Dragon's Dogma 1. Like money makes these games bigger and better and shinier. And with the right development team, you could turn it into a really good game. Yes, for sure. I don't know why I would want to, for example, I don't know, like Space Marine 2 is also a game that's, shareholders are involved in it. I don't know why I would want Space Marines 2 to regress by making a game with what 50, 60 million less of the budget. Now I'm playing a game that looks like Gears of War, Xbox 360.
50.
But I too. So I see what both of you guys are saying. I don't think so. For Space Marine, I don't think that's a great example because Space Marine, like as a game, is not the problem with the industry. Like they've come out and talked about how much that game costs relative to like what you would expect from a big, massive AAA game. Like, yeah, it costs money to make that game, but it's not the money that it costs to make. I know the big joke last year was Concord and how much I spent on that. It's certainly not the amount of money that it's going to cost to make GTA 5, or keep saying GTA 5, GTA 6. It's certainly not that amount of money. Like, games like Space Marine, in terms of scope, like, are kind of what is needed. And that's not to say that we have to, in turn, get rid of all the other things that are much bigger in scope. It's just saying, yo, spread it out a little bit more. Like, you can make a game like Space Marine 2. It costs 150 million, which, but again, by no means is cheap, but it's a lot cheaper than Spider-Man 2 at 300-400 million. So it's good to have both, but there's got to be some sort of balance so that every time, a game like GTA 6 is getting ready to come out, we don't get articles like this saying, hey guys, the game's going to be $100 and you just got to suck it up and accept it. Like, we shouldn't have to hear that. We shouldn't have to hear that on a random weekday from some analyst. That's not what we should have to hear.
You have a problem.
You really don't like this guy.
I don't like this guy because he did. Okay, continue. Sorry.
No, like I do get your points, but I do think we're kind of in that middle ground of of like where the industry is. We're probably in that where it should be from a because there's many AA games. It's kind of like when one of these guys from Kind of Funny, he made a statement. I can't remember his name. It could be in Blessing about like how like, oh, I want smaller games and games that are very tight and smaller focus. And I'm thinking, what are you talking about? There's so many AA games out there already. You just don't play them or talk about them. Like, it's just this grandstanding approach. And I have this quote from Harada, the Tekken guy, when somebody was going at him, literally saying, because Tekken has live service elements now.
I saw that.
Yeah, and I sent it to you, look, as well, but I'll read it out for the chat as well, just so you guys can understand. Because I think the conversation is important when consumers and business people and the developers actually all talk and they tell each other like what's actually going on, and then we can like proceed. But he says development costs are now 10 times more expensive than in the 90s and more than double or nearly triple the cost of Tekken 7. Even the Fight Lounge servers are costly to maintain. In the past, there wasn't so many specs and there wasn't online. Plus, they didn't have such high resolution and high definition. Now, so many people want the game to run and be supported for a long time. It costs money to continually update the game for that reason. However, this guy probably only keeps good memories of the old games he experienced as a boy and does not pay attention to the changing times and increasing costs. The economic situation and everything else is changing. If we simply do nothing as he suggests, the game will simply stop running in a few months. I think that is what he wants. So there is no point in talking to him and about these realities. He wants us to stop economic activity and stop updating and supporting the game. He's basically saying, this is happening, and you're telling us you don't want these things to happen, but we're telling you these things don't happen. You don't get what you want. You ain't getting no Elden Ring 2 that's better graphics, bigger game, and better gameplay, maybe more open world, whatever it is. If you want Elden Ring 2 to feel like a DLC, then just say that. But when we drop it, don't complain and say these are the same bosses. Don't complain and say where's the innovation? Because the truth is, Elden Ring 2. Yeah, whichever. But I'm talking about all the same animations, right? Because the truth is this: Elden Ring 2 costs more to make than From Software's last game. So if they had just listened to the consumers, don't make AAA blockbuster games, you wouldn't have had Elden Ring. You'd have had a lesser version of it. They probably would have had to make it not an open world game, but a closed game, because open world games are more expensive to make. Hogwarts Legacy is a game. They didn't have to make an open world game. They didn't have to make it that big. They could have made it much smaller. And I guess my argument is I want a Hogwarts Legacy. I want an Elden Ring. I want Tekken to look good and play good. I want the new Street Fighter game has an open world mechanic. You can walk around, fight people, talk to people. It's like an RPG game. And it has all these little mini games. It has a fight lounge. I want these things. Why would I want them to make the old Street Fighter game instead? when we can get a superior version. And if somebody is saying I can't afford that, okay, get it on sale.
Sure.
I thought you were gonna tell people to get another job. I was waiting for you.
Nah, it ain't that bad. Just get it on sale.
So to that, like, I'll give an example that I rag on every year, but I continue to buy it every year because it's literally the only option for that type of game. NBA 2K. When I buy NBA 2K, all I want is a basketball game. In fact, you get on forums, you get on Reddit.
That's all everyone talks about.
That's all people want. It's just a basketball game. So why, when I boot up 2K25 and I go into my career, why can I retire from the NBA in the middle of my career and just become a rapper? Why is that a thing? Why is that like, who told you to spend money to put that in your game? And because you're putting that in your game, obviously those costs of adding like an entire story branch of becoming a rapper for some reason in your game, that's cost that gets passed on to us, not via the whole, upfront price of, hey, it's $70 to buy the game. We're all used to that at this point, or at least I think we are. It's the fact that for 2K specifically, it's like, hey, now VC costs a little bit more than it used to. And for me, I don't buy VC because I don't really play my career, or I don't do my park or whatever the hell they call it nowadays. I don't really care about that stuff. But there's so many people who buy VC, and they're just continuing to fund this whole this idea that anybody wants what they're doing. Like, if there was any other option at all for a basketball game, NBA Live, I'm looking at you. If there was any other option for an official NBA game, I would not be playing 2K. Not a chance.
I agree with you, but I also have a rebuttal to this because I've had this discussion before. Not about 2K, so that's actually quite interesting. When the first football game came out, it was just football, single player, whatever it is. And then somebody decided, let's make it 2 players. Cool. Like, there's people out there who said, we didn't ask for this. Then they said, you know what, let's add a season mode. There's people out there who said, we didn't ask for this. There's people out there who said, you know what, let's add a training mode where you could do like certain little mini games and stuff. People were like, we didn't ask for this. And then there was a journey mode in out the new FIFA games where like it's actually a story mode. People didn't ask for this as well. And then they said, you know what, let's include a little manager mode. And we could keep going on and on, but there's always these mechanics and gameplay modes that people didn't ask for. And the point I'm trying to make here is sometimes you don't look at what the consumer is necessarily saying. Somebody has a creative idea to improve a game and they'll try it. Now, if it doesn't work out, they'll take it away. So Metro Prime Echoes is an example. Wow. Nobody asked for multiplayer in Metro Prime Echoes. And in Corruption, they took it out because it wasn't popular. However, there are other games out there that people have added new gameplay mechanics, and the shooting game genre is actually one of those games. Nobody asked for zombies in Call of Duty. I could imagine people literally saying, I'm here to play Call of Duty, bro. What the hell is the zombies mode? Boom, it's the biggest game mode. Yo, bro, I didn't ask you for a freaking Battle Royale mode. I just wanted the multiplayer to have good gameplay. Boom, Battle Royale blows up. So I get what you're saying, but if we kind of just focus on what people are, or the hardcore is just saying, I don't think we get these improvements in games. How many Souls-like fans ask for an open world Souls-like game?
I couldn't answer that question because I don't know.
I didn't ask for it.
Okay. I have a friend and he's a huge Souls-like guy. And I told him, I was like, yo, bro, they got George R.R. Martin. It's going to be open world. The rumors are saying, and he literally was all like, I don't care about George R.R. Martin. We don't care about story and open world. What the hell is this? Is going to ruin the game because Souls is very technical. It's very like focused, blah, blah, blah. This is stupid. No one's asking for this. Elden Ring blew up. Boom.
Sure. No, like, I agree when it comes to innovation and doing things that people might not like, you might not even know you want that. Look, you love Elden Ring, right?
Yeah, I do.
You didn't ask for an open world Souls game.
No.
And to that effect, I totally agree. But in the case of, I'm actually on my Xbox right now. I want to go see something real quick. In the case of 2K, like you're saying they add things and then people love it, and then, or if people say they don't love it, they just take it away and no harm done. That's not the case. I'm giving you an example of 2K. That is literally not the case. They not only do they add things that people don't want, but then when people tell them they don't want it, they double down on it and add more of it. And that's been the motto for 2K for like since probably what 2K19. That's just been the thing for 2K. Is like people like I'm on the Microsoft store right now on Xbox looking at 2K. Out of 5 stars, it's got 1.5. People do not like it. 2K doesn't give a fuck. They just don't give a fuck. Because and you know, you could boil that down to a lot of reasons. I think the biggest and most pressing reason is the fact that they don't have any competition in the space.
Yes.
If they had some sort of competition, maybe they might start giving a fuck. But until they have competition, they don't give a fuck, and they continue to like blatantly show you they don't care by adding more of what you don't want every single year, and in some cases taking away actual aspects of basketball from the game.
So they put in a racing game in 2K.
Yes, dude, there's a game, there's like there's like a kart racer in 2K now. Nobody asks for a kart racer. If you want to play a kart racer, you know what you do? Mario Kart. It's right there. Everybody's got a Switch at this point. Everyone has a Switch. If you want to play a kart racer, you play Mario Kart. But 2K is like, you know what we need instead of improving the actual game that people want to play? We need a kart racer. But, it's going to come at the expense of animations and mechanics and gameplay and like the actual basketball game. That doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, people. We need a kart racer. They also made like a mode. I remember vaguely. I think you guys talked about it on the show. I think Ham brought it up like months ago. I think they brought like guns to 2K or something for like some sort of mode or something, like a deathmatch or a battle royale. I can't remember. I have to look it up. I'm gonna look it up before I sound stupid because I could be wrong on this. NBA 2K guns.
That's a royale mode.
You sound very wrong. Guns? No way.
There was something in 2K25. I remember seeing a screenshot of a dude holding like not like a real like an AK or some shit, but like some like cartoony looking gun, kind of like Fortnite. And I was like, who asked? Who asked for this ever? It's like they're spending money that they don't need to spend to add things that people don't want and don't care about.
I think there's I wonder, so for them it's because I don't know if you guys saw the Call of Duty court documents that says that every single year they spend more money on Call of Duty, but they actually sell less. So they're actually making less profit from Call of Duty, right? I mean, microtransactions helps out a lot, but like in terms of sales, they're losing out. So I'm wondering here that, and this is me being gracious to 2K, I think this is probably what's happening, is because I can have another direct comparison, which is Mortal Kombat and also Street Fighter. The audience that plays the 2K games are there. And now you've released the game and you're releasing the sequel, and the sequel is potentially selling less or it's not making you as much money. So now you kind of need to reach out to the casual audience. So you're still going to give everybody their core basketball game. However, you want casuals to come through. When I sent my friend, one of my guys, the Street Fighter trailer, he's a casual guy. He doesn't care about games like this. All he could say was, oh, there's a story mode. You can walk around and fight people and do stuff now, like an RPG. Okay, I'm buying it. And he bought it. Now, the actual Street Fighter fans, they don't care about this nonsense. They're like, this is rubbish. However, that brings more people in. And what did Capcom say? Yo, the Street Fighter is one of the best selling that we've done recently. And I think that's what they're trying to do with 2K, with Street Fighter, and even Mortal Kombat. Remember, Mortal Kombat usurped Street Fighter in sales because they literally had a crit mode, they had a challenge mode, they had all these extra additions, and they had a story mode. And if you ask anybody, like, why did Mortal Kombat sell more than Street Fighter, they'll tell you, yeah, because that has a story mode. It has all these animations and cool things. However,
MK has the
Mortal
best
Kombat,
story mode, I think, from the
exactly.
fighting games.
But the Mortal Kombat
Even
fans
Tekken.
don't care about story mode, but the casuals do. That's what makes them buy the game and play the
Yeah.
game. And all my friends who don't play fighting games, they bought Mortal Kombat to play the story mode because they thought, oh, that's kind of cool. So this is what I'm thinking is happening here. They're trying to put these game modes to kind of get maybe the average regular black guy who likes hip hop music. Oh, I can be a record label. I can be a rapper. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. Let me go check it out.
Is
So
it though? Is
But
it? Is it interesting?
I mean,
well,
the execution is
I
good.
agree with Luke on that, but I see what
Listen,
you're
we need
saying.
to go. We need to go, fellas. We need to go.
But
'cause-
let me just say one
Okay,
thing, and
yeah,
then we're
yeah.
done. I see what you're saying, Ty. But like in the case again, specifically of 2K, they're adding that stuff for casual players, which I don't have any problem with adding things for casual players, as long as you're continuing to support the people who are there to play what the game was made for, which is basketball. They are actively not doing that. They're actively going the opposite. Like they're removing basketball features. It seems like every year. Like, dude, in 2K17, probably all the way up until 2K18, there used to be a mode called Team Up, and you would just get online. You would match make, and then it would put you in a game, and it was two teams fighting against each other, and you would pick a player on each team. You'd have 10 players. Each player would choose one of the 5 players on the team, on each team. And you played that player, you did your role in the game, and then the game was over, you got points for it and everything. Sometimes you met new friends and everything. It was fun. They've taken modes like that out of the game and have replaced them with, you're now a rapper. Now it's a kart racer. It's like you're taking away the main aspect of the game to add in things for casuals who, no problem with casuals being there, just don't take things out of the game that made the game to put in things that nobody asked for. And I got to be real, casuals aren't really playing that, to be honest. They're playing Fortnite. They're playing Mario Kart because it's better. It's fun. It's what the game is for. Nobody's hopping. No one says, instead of playing Fortnite tonight, let's play NBA 2K Battle Royale. Nobody's saying
They have a shooter on NBA 2K.
yeah, no one's doing that. Like it's just it's a basketball game, and they've actively foregone huge basketball features just for that,
Yeah, I
which
get you.
isn't good. That's all I want to say.
And on that note, we've come to the end of today's lowdown. We weren't even able to go through the entire article because of the
I'm
ridiculousness.
not mad about that. That article stinks.
Yeah. Anyways, Ty, please plug your stuff and tell people where they can find you.
Yeah, you guys can find me at Taya Talks, TAYETALKS. Of course, I know I had a very unpopular take, but I hope I explained myself well enough in the sense that it's coming from a business standpoint. But no, it was a really good conversation. I enjoyed Matt's point, I enjoyed Luke's point, and I enjoyed Ham's point as well. I think these discussions are really fun to have, especially when people have different opinions. Yeah. And you guys can also find me here on, I was going to say Sunday.
Monday.
Sorry, I'm here on Monday as well.
Yeah. Every single Monday he comes through. Fashionably late, but he does show up. Matt,
Yes.
plug your channel and what you're up to.
Yeah, man. You can find me on YouTube. Matt Likes Games videos every week. I think this week's video might be a little bit late. It'll be out probably over the weekend, but I'm gonna have a video out this week. That's the point. So videos every week. I want to get back to that. Podcasts every week. Tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern on my channel. We got the 2-player podcast with myself and Ham Solo, so look forward to that. And then on Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern, it's the L3R3 podcast with myself, Hard Days Mike, and it's me, Twan. Look forward to that as well. And then Fridays, I'm here every Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern for bullsitting with Loke, Cozy, Mental, Ham, myself, and usually a guest. And that's always a fun time. So look forward to that.
Good times. Showtime, Dayreezy, I agree with you. Thank you to everyone else for coming through. Sapo, Raichi, Dorian Gray, Fuzzy Tomato, Sir X-Men, Ron Slusher. Who else came in here? Poison Maniac. If I didn't mention you, apologies, but thank you to everyone. Make sure you smash the like button. We shall see you tomorrow for Ham's daily call-in show. Have a good Wednesday.